top, Apple products are different. We couldn't get connection to this projector. So we've been able to get a better connection. All right. Yeah, so you can now start the slide. I think start it from the beginning. We are here today for a very important discussion. And we've been hearing each other on the internet. We used to call demonic when your village people calls you on a mirror in their chamber, their strong room. They call you on a mirror. They'll be watching you wherever you are. Hey, this is demonic. We hate it, but now we are able to call each other on. We watch each other and we are happy because the white man invented this one. But the other one, your village people invented it. So we hate it. We fear it so much. More issue pertaining to our project. And we are here today. I'm very happy for you honoring this project or this invitation. And we are sure by the time we leave here, we will all be blessed. All right, now when we talk about ancient society, we are within the spheres of cryptocurrency. And we can't just talk about cryptocurrency without knowing the evolution of money in connection to cryptocurrency. These are very important elements you need to know to understand where we are going so that you will see the possibility of what we are doing. Actually, if you don't understand where we are coming from and where we are heading towards, you consider everything to be a fallacy, especially we with the color. I don't even know why we call ourselves black, because in fact our color is not black. We are either chocolate or brown or whatever. But why did they choose to call us black? So this is discriminatory. And very soon we are going to change the status quo. We will no longer call ourselves black. And they too, they are not white, because when we talk of white, this is the color white. So have you ever seen a woman being in this color before? So why do they call themselves white? Because of the illusion of black is evil, white is good. So they've been able to, brainwash our conscience to understand that these things are impossible. But today we are here to tell you the possibility of these things. So let's move to the next slide. And when we talk of money, evolution of money, everything in the universe evolves. Not just money alone. In fact, the world have not been as it is since from time immemorial. The world was different, but today here we are experiencing a very modernized world, and we call ourselves modern world. Very soon, our grandchildren to come in future will call us Kulu people. We didn't even know anything, because better systems are about to come. Now look at evolution of clothes or wear, how it started. Man was walking naked till a time they got to cover themselves with some skin. Even moving forward on and on. Look at the modern guy standing somewhere. He calls himself a modern guy. Comparing him to the first person, he is modern. But today we see him to be a village guy. You see, so that's how it is now. Look at lightning. It started with that system of lightning where you have to use stone, crash another stone to get light. Then we came to the lantern. Then the lantern also modified to another level, and we got the fluorescent, and now we are in the LED era. We have even evolved from this era. We are now in the LED. When we talk of light, the evolution another better system is coming than the LED. So moving on to the next slide, you see that even houses that we live in also has evolved. Building. Man started living in caves. We move on to wooden structures, on and on and on, till these modern day houses that we are seeing. Everybody wants to live in such kind of houses. So you see, the world is all about evolution. Let's move on to the next slide. When we look at automobiles, automobiles started 1900s. The first car that was invented. You see how it is? That was the first car, the first automobile. All right, so you see, it moved on 1920s. There was a little bit modification. Then 1940s, 1960s. Wow, look at that 1960. Porsche car. Yes. Then we came to 1980s. Yes. Then 2000s. Now we are moving to another era that is coming after the 2000. That is a high-speed bullet train and those kind of transportation. Then that is driverless cars that have no human beings. You control them from your mobile phone, then the cars can send you wherever you want to go. So we are talking about evolution. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Now let's talk of evolution of money. Money also started like barter trade. Then we came to gold, we came to precious metals. The Chinese invented paper money. Then we came to plastic cards or credit card. Then we came to electronic money. That is mobile money. And now the next era of money is crypto. You should have clapped better here. It's about evolution. It's not about anything new. Somebody that don't know, don't follow data. There are some people that create and another people consume. And that's why when my brother said, you should thank God for the first time you are joining the creators, not the consumers. You should clap for him for that statement. Yes. So you see, why didn't money stop at barter? Why did it move to gold? Why did it move to precious metals? Why did it evolve to paper? Evolve to credit card, to electronic. And when it's evolving to crypto, will it be a problem? If they couldn't stop it from evolving from barter to gold to precious metals to paper, then I'm telling you. Move on to the next slide and let me show you something. There are only two stages in life that has offered fundamental freedom to humanity when it comes to money. The first concept of money that we consider to be barter trade, and we say during the people of the early human civilization, any community that was demanded and chosen by common consent was used as a form of currency. You see, so you could use anything at all to buy whatever you want. Even in my village, we came to meet that because my mom, when he's short of, salt, he give you flour, go and then collect salt. When you send the flour, the woman will gladly accept the flour and give you salt. We experience some. Sometimes you give it the flour in a measure. When you get it, then you bring back the same measure. That is butter. So you see, this stage of barter trade was a stage of freedom, whereby you choose to accept or not. No third party. It was between me and you. Hello? Because when you are barter trading, no third party. Because I have my mobile phone, you also have your laptop, we have agreed, let's barter. It is between the two of us. There's no government, no levy between it. Are you here? This is not politics, it's about the concept. No tax. That's what I mean, no tax. But Umia is not in middle. Then the government realized, the people realized, no, we want to control. That's why we call government. Then the government now introduced its own money. And from there, when the government introduced their money, you see the one in the, should I call it a square? You see that, those stages? That is a metallic stage, because after money evolved from barter trade, it went into precious metals, such as gold and silver, copper. Then later on, they modify it, diluted it till it became ordinary metal. Then later on, it moved on to paper. So within the precious metals, there was a third party who created a metal with his symbol or totem on it. So if you are holding similar metal and there is no that impression of the governor, of the imperial, of the king on it, it is illegal. So that was where they got a chance to control humanity, because they were now creators of the precious metal. So they decide the value of it. So initially, it should be according to the value of gold. We'll talk about that. Then they move on to the next stage of paper money. Another third party. Government is within. He created the paper. Do you know where they print Ghana cedi? When it's time for election, they will print some. Hey, don't give me any theory. I don't believe those theories. You have to get what gross domestic, what, and then they will use according to the country, GPD or whatever. It's a lie. They choose to print whenever they want to print. That's why the governors of the Bank of Ghana and the Minister of Finance and all these people are selected by the ruling government, so that they can command them at any time they want. Print more money, we want more for election. So that when they get out to you to steal our vote, they will throw some of the money at you. And any time after election, there is heavy inflation on this economy. Any time we experience election, there is inflation because more money was printed. You see? So you see, government, because the pressure that humanity we put on the government, they can choose to give contract to so many contractors. Meanwhile, they don't have the money. So after they have given so many contract to contractors, they will now be compelled to print more money so that they can pay the contractors. And that is tantamount to depreciation of the city. So paper money too gave them more freedom and gave them control over us. We came to the credit card system. All has a third party. There are only two stages of currency, money, in which there is no third party, and we call it absolute freedom. And that is barter trade and cryptocurrency. No third party. So after the three stages in between has failed, humanity have now, awakened. And that's why we say we've gotten to the era of awakening, whereby everybody is now conscious. I've been telling my people who do those Sakawa churches, your churches will soon collapse. Nobody will come there. Because everybody is getting enlightened. Since 2019, that is when the Great Awakening started. And they knew it. That's why they wanted to use some things, I don't want to mention those things' name, to corner you so that you will be injected and then you don't even go far. They had bigger plan for that. I'm not here to discourage whoever took the vaccine. In fact, first stage, second stage is nothing. Don't worry about it. Nothing will happen to you. But they had better plans. If we had followed, the boosters to get to a place, they would turn us into zombies. But we didn't allow them. So right now it has become a mess. They don't even talk about this again. Yes. Nobody is going to talk about vaccine because humanity have awakened. That is the era we have gotten. And that is why the awakening came with a system of monetary. The awakening cannot happen when we are still under manipulation. Because when you say the history of the universe, control is all about money. If you want to control a group of people, control their source of revenue. And that's all. Once you have the control over revenue, you control them because money rules the world. So the beginning of our independence and our freedom is the introduction of cryptocurrency. We'll talk about how cryptocurrency came into existence as we move on. Move on to the next for me. All right, so you see, barter trade was a special system. Why did barter trade stop? Barter trade stopped because people, when they go to the market to sell, they find it difficult to get the exact item they want. Assuming you are sending your sheep to the market in place of cocoyam, and no one is bringing cocoyam today, you'll be standing there throughout the day, waiting for someone to bring cocoyam because that is the exact thing you want. So it became very difficult to get the exact return. And even after you have gotten the cocoyam, to measure the quantity or to pay the quantity of a particular commodity to what you are bringing was also difficult. So if you are bringing a goat, the size of the goat alone will determine the quantity of cocoyam I should give to you. So it was a little bit complex, and for that matter, they saw the need to replace the barter trade system with another system of gold. So that these are ancient system of trading or money. When we talk of money, you have to know the origin of where the thing is coming from so that we can now know where we are heading toward. All right, I wish you could. You've gone too far. So they replace it with another system of gold. That is precious metals. Yes, it's okay. The precious metals started with gold. And initially, globally, I don't know, since from ages, the creation of this universe, gold has been a precious metal. We call it the money of God. Or some people call it the original money. It's gold. All right, so they decided, instead of us barter trading, when I bring my item to sell, you bring a piece of gold and let me give it to you. So that when I get a piece of gold and don't even get the cocoyam today, maybe tomorrow I'll come, when I bring the gold, I'll get cocoyam. So gold now became a legal tender in which we all transact. And now there was another challenge of measuring the quantity or the carat of the gold to the commodity you want to buy to became very difficult. Because some gold are in dust, some gold are in nuggets and different form. And they all comes with different quality and different pricing mechanism. So it became a little bit tough for people to measure. Furthermore, the greatest thing that actually spoiled everything was the Great Depression, the first Great Depression. That happened when, there was these civil wars here and there, empire against another empire, colony against another colony. So we have this history that Pata, that great Asian community called Pata, they decided the depreciation of the gold when they wanted more soldiers, when they wanted more money to pay more soldiers. And meanwhile, their gold were exhausted and they needed more money to pay the soldiers. So they keep recruiting more soldiers and they needed more gold. So they started, no, these are our people. Let's mix the gold with some elements. So they started mixing copper to the gold so that it will look like gold. And they'll force you to accept it because you are military and you have to obey before complain. All right, so they started depreciating until the whole world realized that if we depreciate, no one complain. Then let's use ordinary metals for money. And that's how we are here. Someone can just pick any iron scrap on the road and print and emboss it with Bank of Ghana, and then you accept it, whether you like or not. You have no say. And it's more or less like we have become slaves. In fact, it's slavery until you don't think twice. Because someone just embossed something and I have to accept it. Whether it is true or not, just follow. That era in which we just follow have changed you. We no longer follow. We ask. So let's move on to the next stage. And it happened on and on. If you want to talk about this, it will take us the whole day. All right, so these are ordinary metals. These are no longer gold. That era of metals, gold have passed long ago. So any government will just print, emboss some metals. We say they mint metals. And then it was accepted as a legal tender. Now this thing was very difficult to carry, especially if you're going to buy a cow. Imagine the quantity of metals you need to carry. So every armed robber along the way can just say, this man. So it was attracting more robbers. That's why there were so many stories of robbers, people being robbed even in the Bible because of the metals, So they could easily detect who is going to buy what because of the weight. So the Chinese are very smart people. They've not been smart today. They've been smart. Yes, the Chinese introduced the first paper currency in 1375. Yes, and it was, it was for their colony. And it was on the basis of agreement. Why? Because they printed so many copper, so many coins. So people could no longer carry. So they decided, okay, instead of you carrying all the coins along, you leave the coin at the Federal Reserve or at the National Reserve and pick this note. So originally, paper money is called bank note. That's the original name for paper money. So when you go to the bank, what they give you is bank note. So it was a note in replacement of the coins you have left at the reserves. All right, so we always say, when they started, they thought it was going to be for them alone. But they realized people no longer even asked of the coins. People were so interested in the papers. So they kept on and on and on. And they realized that printing only papers will also make it too voluminous because it will be too many if you are taking a larger sum of money. All right, so they decided to put an inscription backward on the paper or on the money. That's why you now see numbers on the paper. These are the evolution of Chinese money. How it started, it evolved, then it moved on to this. So the number that is written on it determines the value. The same paper, the different value. So this is 1 Ghana, this is 200 Ghana. The same paper size, the same color, the same cost in printing, but different value because of the number that is written on it. All right, so when the Chinese were enjoying this thing, the whole world was like, this could be good because the cost in printing this paper is very cheap than the metals. It was very difficult to mint the coin than to print a paper. So the world started adopting from different stages. But it didn't become a globally accepted until the United States decided to adopt it. All right, so somewhere move on to the next slide. Yes, paper currency became globally accepted in 1690 after the United States introduced the first bill of credit. That was the name of their money. First bill of credit, or IOU, spent by soldiers only within the U.S. colony. So soldiers that were within the colony needed to be paid, and they needed more money to pay them. Therefore, they tested the military with this kind of paper money or the bill of credit. So they print more papers and they give. Why did they even test it to the soldiers? Because soldiers were the first slaves before any other human being. Because if you are a soldier, you are a slave. You have to obey. That was those days, So they tested it within their colony, and soldiers were spending it, and it was like, okay, because they could not complain, they have to accept it by force. Then the bank took over the U.S. monetary system in 1861, and they started regulating until we move on to the next stage of the Federal Reserve, But before we talk about the paper money and the original money called gold, we need to know some of the differences or between paper money and gold. Actually, we say the paper money is called currency, and then the original money, the gold, is called money. So in the actual sense, in this world, there is no money. We are all spending currency. No one has money, because money is gold, silver, and later on copper. Apart from these three, none is money. Whatever you have should be currency. All right, so indeed, currency is a medium of exchange and is also considered as a unit of account, whereas money is also considered as a medium of exchange. Money is portable, meaning you can carry it along as you are sitting, you have some in your pocket. Gold will be portable. Money is durable, though gold is more durable. Money is divisible. That's why they loved gold, because gold is not too hard. When we talk of the hardest substance, gold is not among. It's a little bit malleable. So they could chop it into smaller units. Good. Money should be divisible. Money should be fungible. When we talk of the fungibility, it means when I give you one nugget of gold weighed maybe 1 gram, it should be the same price in the United States. So the price of 1 nugget or 1 gram of gold should be the same. So fungibility is also possible, because a dollar bill in Ghana is the same as the dollar bill in the United States. That is what we mean, fungible. All right. Now, as you move on, you realize that there is something unique about money that currency don't have. Money can be printed, but currency can be printed, but money cannot be printed. That means if we all choose to go back to money, no one can print any addition. Whatever we've all agreed to print, that's all. No one can bypass to print some at the back door. But currency can be printed because you don't control the reserves. Currency can be minted, but money cannot be minted. Currency is considered as a store. It's not a store of value, because when you keep a dollar for some years, it depletes. It's no longer $1. But money is forever, or gold is forever a nugget. 1 gram of gold is forever 1 gram of gold. It doesn't change with time. But $1 depreciates as time goes on. That's why we don't consider paper as a store of value. It has become very difficult now for the world to get a medium of store of value. If you have some, amount of money and you want to keep it for, let's say, 10 years and use it for a particular project, if you don't take care and invest wisely, by the time the 10 years has come, whatever you have in that reserves is no longer 10 million or whatever you have. It will depreciate. That is why currency is not a store of value, but money is a store of value. So we call it the dirty little secret. A lot of people don't know this, but this is the fundamental principle. Once you discover this chart, it is an eye-opener for you to begin questioning a lot of things. So what we are going to do here, or what we are doing in the Asian society, is all about curiosity. We've been curious over years to know what goes into what money. We are all dying because of money. We are all suffering because of money. We go to school because of money. We work because of money. Somebody is here, you are feeling sleepy because you never slept last night. You worked throughout the night because of money. Who created that money? Let's move on. You see, so we need to know more about all these before. Now, as we move on to the next stage, the money we are talking about have never been static. We call it era and seasons. That's why our chairman read, to everything there is a season. And indeed it was. As so far as history is concerned, we didn't want to go back to somewhere, something 100 BC, But we are cutting it short from the 1st century, when the Romans were ruling. They had a system of money, or a particular type of currency that was a global reserve currency. These are global reserve currencies. The first global reserve currency was the Erios, or some would say the denarius. Are you okay? That is the spelling in the, yes, the Romans. So we say the denarius. That was the first currency that was globally accepted. Then they ruled for some time. Then it moved on to the Byzantium. The Byzantium also introduced another system of money, or they also had a global reserve currency called the Selodis. And that is, when we talk of the Byzantine, we are talking of the Greeks. They also took over the global reserves. Then it moved from Greece to the Flores, that is the colony or the empire of Flores. And today we talk of Spain. They also took over, and then they ruled for some time with their florino. These are global reserve currencies. Then it moved on to the 17th century. Then the golden of the Netherlands also became a global reserve currency. Then it moved on to the 18th century. Then the Spanish also took over and introduced the real de Aco, or somebody will say the Spanish dollar. They also took over from the 18th to the 19th century. Then the British also took over the global reserve currency and introduced their British pounds sterling. Then the United States also took over, getting to the close of the 19th century, and they also introduced the United States dollar. All right, now move on to the next stage and let's see something. Always there is a cut-off point for each of the money or the currencies that they introduced. The United States dollar became so powerful because after the Second World War, all other countries in the world didn't have enough gold. You know, they've sold a lot of gold. The United States, they were very smart. If you know the history, in fact, they became very popular during the Second World War. Before the Second World War, United States was nothing. But during the Second World War, they wasn't part. They were just at home because they didn't want to meddle. They loved German, they loved the Europeans, so they didn't want to meddle. So they were in the middle. So whilst in the middle, they were supplying guns and gunpowder. They were manufacturing guns and gunpowder. As a result, the Chinese, the Germans, the Russians, all of them have to export their gold to US in purchase of gun and gunpowder for war. If you don't get more guns, your enemies are attacking you. So they were able to mobilize almost half of the gold, more than half of the gold reserves in the world. Every kingdom that participated in the Second World War needed guns. And the best place to buy is the US, because they were at home manufacturing guns, supplying to whoever is coming to. So after the World War, they have been able to mobilize a larger chunk of gold globally. And therefore, they were also able to convince the European Union to adapt, because at the verge of the Second World War, they decided to step into the war to support Europe, because Europe was at a very great depression at that time, and the Germans nearly won. So they said, okay, if you want us to step in and support you, we'll do on one condition. You will not have a reserve currency. You will rather use the dollar. That is why the Europeans never had currency. Don't you know they were using the dollar? Until 1992, then they introduced the euro. The euro is the youngest of all currencies in the world. Very young. The Europeans didn't have currency because they were using the dollar. Because there was agreement during the Second World War. As we step in to help you, you use our money. You see, combining Europe and United States using one currency, that is very powerful. So after the Second World War, one, they had the numbers, two, they had the reserves of gold. So their currency now became popular. That's why they were able to push away the British pound sterling and took over, and the dollar became the global reserve because they had enough gold to back the quantity of dollar they print. So when we say gold is backing currency, we mean the quantity of money in circulation. You have similar reserves of gold in your gold reserves. So when we come to your gold reserves, and the reserves are lesser than the quantity of money, paper money in circulation, then we say it have depreciated. All right, so they had enough gold to create money. Apart from them, no other country had enough gold. Though they were still printing papers, but they were not back with gold. Only dollar. So every country afterward decided to, instead of you getting gold, you have to rather pledge your currency to the dollar. So the dollar will now determine the worth of your, because the dollar is gold. All right, so instead of you pledging your money to gold, why don't you pledge it to dollar? You see, so when you have more paper dollars in your place, then it means you have more gold, because the dollar is what? Gold. That was the original dollar. So countries like Ghana, countries like Nigeria, countries like on and on and on, with the exception of the Francophone-dominated countries, they didn't pledge it with dollar. Most of countries pledge their currencies to dollar, and currently, Ghana here, we are pledging our currency to the dollar. So the value of the dollar determines the value of our people. In fact, I wonder why our economists went to school to learn, and they didn't discover this trick, this common trick. And they are still following the dollar because, the United States has become so powerful to the extent that when you choose to neglect or reject the dollar, they will cancel your name from the IMF and you are dead forever. No loans, no grant, nothing, no. So our government, they are afraid of that. I'm sure the current people, they are very smart, they understand, but they fear. No government can ever free itself from these shackles. It's unfortunate, let's move on, that as time goes on, it got to a time that the dollar, the United States had no more gold. They didn't have enough gold. Not that they sold the gold. They still have a lot of gold. But they printed too much paper money because they realized people were coming in for paper money in quantity. Larger numbers in all countries were connecting. So they developed the habit of printing more paper in excess, above the quantity of gold they had. And that is how the dollar lost its gold standard. Let's move on. So it's unfortunate that most people don't understand this theory. The Portuguese currency ruled for 80 years. Then the Spanish currency ruled for 110 years. The Netherlands currency ruled for 80 years. These are global reserve currency, as I showed you. The France currency ruled for 95 years. Then the British pound sterling ruled for 105 years. So look at the graph. We are tracing as far back as 14 something. Look at the graph. You can just realize the highest currency that dominated was the Spanish, 110 years. Apart from them, now the United States dollar has ruled for 110 years and it still want to rule, it still want to continue. So people are predicting the last built-up period to be a global reserve money or the one world money currency that will be introduced by the IMF or the United Nations. So we are waiting and watching up to that stage. But as I speak to you, somewhere in 2014 or 20, let me take it from 2008, during the financial crash. Do you know there was a big crash in 2008? Yes. There was a crash in the world market, stock market. So there was a shake in the global reserve system. But because there is no powerful entity to rise up and attack the United States, if it was in those era, for the United States, dollar having lost its gold backing, US don't have more gold, another empire would have risen and fight them, destroy them or conquer them and introduce his reserve currency. But now we have gotten to an era in which it has become very impossible for someone to rise against another nation with guns due to the global peace alliance that we are all enjoying and some peace treaties that most countries have signed. So it has become very difficult. So the United States is enjoying that kind of intermediaries when people are afraid to venture. The Chinese, the Koreans and the Asian tigers have put themselves together, even in couple with the Arabs, the Arabs. But they are afraid to venture because we have come to believe the whole world, the global police is, or the global army policing is the US. So people are afraid to attack them. And that is why there is a need for humanity to rise up and fight for our freedom and redeem ourselves from these financial bondage and shackles. Move on to the next stage. So you won't believe that during the COVID period alone, the Federal Reserve printed about $500 billion. The People's Bank of China printed about 790 billion or 79 billion. The European Union also printed about 37 billion. Then the South Korea, 10 billion, on and on and on, Because people realize, or the government have realized, humanity have become so dumb, so they can just print any quantity. Now, the United States printed 500 billion. How many gold did they import or did they buy do they have to warrant them to print this quantity of money? They don't have. Because the condition for the gold to be pegged to the dollar has been lifted long ago. During the era of President Nixon, he lifted the gold standard, and therefore the dollar is back to nothing. But no one is complaining. Go and ask your economists, why are they silent? Why are they quiet? They'll tell you they are powerful. That's why they are not able to redeem themselves from the shackles of the United States. Country like Ghana, where most of the gold have been produced here. We cannot back our Ghana city with gold. The United States, where they don't mine gold, they rather back their currency with gold, and we have to go to them and pledge. What is wrong with us? So you see, it's all about printing now. It's all about printing. They will get into their strong room and print more papers, and then we will be running for it. People are dying for what someone is just printing 24/7. Move on. It's unfortunate. Who are these people? Federal Reserves. These are our courts. That is a summary of them, because we don't have the identity since from the time the Federal Reserve was created. We don't have the identity. Since from the day the Federal Reserve was created. Move on to the next slide. Let me give you some little history about the Federal Reserve. Yeah, we say the Federal Reserve System, also known as the Federal Reserves, is simply the Fed, or simply the Fed. It's the central banking system of the United States of America. It was created on December 23rd, 1913, with the enactment of the Federal Reserve Act. After some series of financial panics, that is, particularly by the panic of 1905 and 1907, led to the desire for central control of monetary system in order to alleviate financial crisis. Over the years, events such as the Great Depression of 1930s, the Great Recession during the 2000s, especially 2008, that's where we had the Great Recession, and the coronavirus in 2020 have led to the expansion of the role and responsibility of the Federal Reserve System. So this particular banking system is just like an association of banks. One blessed morning, we just woke up, and a group of people came with a letter or with a publication that a group of banks in the United States has formed an association called the Fed. And they have decided to loan any country within the United States some dollars, because they are bankers. So they have enough money. So if your country is in recession or depreciation, or going through severe crisis, come to us and we will borrow you money. Now, no one scrutinized from the beginning to ask the Federal Reserve where they are going to get that quantity of money. Because at the onset, it was like they have enough money. Oh, they can do it. Like today, if, assuming one of the richest man in Ghana, say, I want to borrow anyone at all, I've created a bank. Everyone at all, just come to me and borrow. And we will just look at his present circumstance and say, hey, Dangote, Oscar, oh, it's true. So let's give him the opportunity. But we didn't also calculate it to the number of people that are coming. We just look at his present circumstance. Hello? Today I'm going a little bit deeper than the Zoom. Today is a little bit deeper. I'm sorry. Those dozing. I'm sorry. You just came to take pictures and go back. No, don't doze. So this is the problem. At the present state, when the Fed came with that publication that they are creating association of banks, people realized, okay, they could do it because they thought they have enough money. But remember, their money is not C. It may be used up one day. But there wasn't enough scrutiny, enough transparency. Even the directors of the Federal Reserve, no one knows them to date. But they are human beings, they are there. If you ask them, they will just give you the names of some banks. The Bank of India, the Bank of China, the Bank of this, the Bank of that, the Bank of that. They are the owners of the Fed. But who are the people? No. We have never seen a publication of their names. Unless they give you the managing directors of those banks. Meanwhile, they are also employees. They can be fired at any time. So who are the Federal Reserves? It's unknown. The United States is behind that because it started in US. So the Banks Association created the Federal Reserve, and their aim was to loan any country that is in depression. So when you need money, come to them and then they will loan you. So they loan, and people were still coming, countries were still coming, they were loaning. It got to the time they say, hey, okay, We no longer have money. What shall we do? He said, print now. Print, print. So they started printing. Because the United States, they are aware of the manipulation. So anytime US want money, you just say, okay, you see, I need more money to buy your gold, but I don't have enough money. Wait, I'm going to Fed to borrow for you. Then you go to the Fed and command them, hey, print more money for me and add it to my debt. Then the Fed will print the money, and then they will take that paper they printed within 2 hours and give it to Akufo-Addo and take our gold. That is it. Move on to the next slide. Let me show you something. Now, look at this particular website. Can I click it? Try to click the website and let me see what will happen. I want us to see something there. So, yes, it's working. The United States will just go to the Fed, give me money. I want to buy gold from Ghana, but I don't have more papers. Print them. Print and add it to my debt. So they kept printing and printing and printing and printing. And currently, as I'm speaking to you, the Federal Reserve System is not showing. No, what shall we do? Okay. Shocked. The whole world, they owe than anyone because they keep printing, they never pay. Since when have US paid Federal Reserve? Or confess cannot. Bank. Situation, you know. So the Federal Reserve is for US. But they keep printing money without paying. Because they are not indebted to anyone. They are indebted to the Federal Reserve. So it is the owner of the Federal Reserve that have to rise up and go to US government and say, we need our money. Pay me my money. Meanwhile, who is the owner of the Federal Reserve? The same person who is printing. So right now they are scamming the whole world. So once you say you want to pledge your country money to their currency, they'll just run to you and say, we want to build schools, we want to build hospitals, we want to donate to the orphans, we want to do this. Meanwhile, they will just go to their room and print the papers. They say, don't mind them, they are fools. Print the papers and then we want to go to Ghana. Then they will bring those papers they printed because the papers are back with nothing. And they will tell you, if they say we are going to print, like you just brought your gold, then the US, government will say, I'm going to print money and bring to you. You will be a little bit skeptical. Hey, you can print say. He will not say that. He will rather say, I am going to borrow. So by the time you come, he has already borrowed some money from the Federal Reserve and he's giving it to whoever is in need of. You see? So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are saying here is that there is this great deception going on and everybody is quiet and no one is talking. Oh my goodness. Sometimes when you think of this, you begin to ask why. But we thank God for this era. Oh, you are so bold a person. Clap for yourself for being so bold enough. Yes. Yes. And that is the United States. You see, this is... Now, why is he reading in microseconds? Why? They are still borrowing. Clap for him. And they are paying interest. They are paying interest. I started following this for about 9 years ago. Every day it increased. They never reduce. This is the United States national debt. This is an online thing. Internet. That's why it's so really. And let's check it. What is that? 28 trillion. Or what? 1,000 million billion trillion. Meanwhile, the whole world of crime, the global reserves of crime, say, look at them, 28 trillion. And they keep printing. Right now, if we want to sell the whole Ghana to them, they will buy. Where would they go get the money? Printing press. People, more papers. Push more papers. No regulation. My brother, forget about the economists. Forget about what is in the paper. They are lying. Nothing. This is chrono free. They are stealing us. Yes. So if these people are allowed to walk around and eat and they are enjoying life, then you too deserve the best. These thieves, you deserve the best. Yeah, because you are not robbing anyone. Do you rob anyone? Have you printed some money to buy somebody's plot? You heard someone was announcing his plot. That's so mine. Why didn't you go and buy? You can't print it. They will ask you to labor and toil. And we are working like donkeys. If you want to owe yourself, you have to be an animal before you can be a little bit rich. Why? Why? They'll tell you, work hard, work hard, work hard. What kind of hard working? But they are not working. So they are now like a mully, and the man sitting on the mully. The man on the mully will holding the wagon and be lashing the mully to run hard. Meanwhile, he's just sitting. He's just sitting. This is very funny. Let's go back to the slide and see what we can do. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are comfortable with that, and if we keep quiet in this era, God will punish us. Because we have gotten to an era in which we have the tools. I'm never bitter at our forefathers because they didn't have the technological tools. But we have it. We have it because we have gotten to a time in which internet has made everything possible. And I always say, let's use the tool they created to rule us. Let's use it to free ourselves. After we have freed ourselves, we rule them. We are not. No, if you don't rule them, they'll come back. Are you not smart? If you free yourself, rule them fast. If not, they'll come back and rule you. Yes, that is the strategy. So be ready to rule, okay? Let's position ourselves because we are more smarter than they are. Because they have not gone through hardship. They haven't learned. The current people who are ruling, no, they are not smart because they didn't go through hardship. Look at our politicians. They didn't go through hardship. It's almost like whoever is politician, father was a politician. That is how the trend is. And the next one that is coming, his great-great-grandfather was a politician. So, oh, that now oh, they won't go because your father wasn't a politician. You also create legacy for your children. Yes, you create legacy. If you were born poor, you will never die poor. No, we will not agree to that. The introduction of the blockchain. Let's talk about that. This is the actual thing. This is the actual reason why we are here.
Before you go, I want us to clap.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we say a new era has dawned. Actually, when we talk of cryptocurrency, then we all talk about Bitcoin. But the blockchain has a good history. Yeah, the cryptography, the cryptographer, David Chalmers. Some people also call him Adams. Yes, he first proposed a blockchain-like called his 1982 dissertation. That is a computer system established, maintained, and trusted by manual suspicious groups. That is how he first of all proposed. So he sat down to think and said, no, we can do something. So he brought a proposal to his company, but they didn't take him serious. So it's like he got the concept. He died and left it without developing it. And when he died shortly after he introduced it, there was further work on the cryptographically secure chain of block was described in 1991 by Stout Haber and W. Scott Stonetta. These are, Russian people. They wanted to implement a system wherein documents timestamp could not be tampered with. So these are technical. We those that are very close, we understand. So once the document is time stamped, it cannot be tampered. So they also migrated the blockchain concept that David Chalmers introduced. They were able to start something with it, and then they started working. So you see, a group of people start something, they leave it to the next generation. They also pick it. 1992, Herbert Stoner and David Bayer also incorporated the Merkle tree to the design. And that is also a component of the blockchain. We call it the Merkle or the Merkle tree, which improves its efficiency by allowing several document certificates to be collected into one block under their company. That is Sorority, their company Sorority. Their document certificate hash have been published in the New York Times every week since 1995. So that particular publication in the Times, by these people, their publication were done to show the status of the blockchain. That is where Satoshi Nakamoto was working. So this group of people came from that particular company because they were the engineers behind that. So they developed the concept that no, we can create money with this. So you see, Satoshi Nakamoto never started something. He only improved upon something that existed. So we are here to improve upon Bitcoin. You didn't clap. Yes. You don't have to start it to become popular. You have to only add more quality to it. Satoshi Nakamoto has now, overshadowed blockchain. But he didn't start it. Now, the way we are going to overshadow blockchain, where people will think we are the people that invented blockchain. Very soon. Yes, move on. Very soon. So, you see, introduction to cryptocurrency. Blockchain is literally just a chain of blocks, but not in traditional sense. That is the blocks we know. No, of those words. When we say the word block and chain, in this context, we are actually talking about the digital information. That is, the information is the block stored in a public database, and that is the chain. So information and the storage. So we say the blockchain. Right now you have information like video, you put it on pen drive. You get it? So the video is the block because that is the information. The pen drive is a chain. So we say blockchain. Very simple, isn't it? So it's not too complex. All right. So sometimes when we talk of blockchain, some people think it's a very huge computer that we need to. Somebody last asked me, where is our Asian blockchain? So where is the blockchain? And I said, what do you mean by where is the blockchain? Well, don't we have to get some machines to mine? And I said, oh, don't worry, we'll soon bring the blockchain. The blockchain is in the cloud. It's just on the internet. It's so amazing. Yes, it's so amazing. All right, so the blocks, as we talk about on the blockchain, are made up of digital pieces of information. Specifically, they have three parts. Now let's talk about the three parts. Somebody may need it. Not for all of you anyway. Let's move on to the next slide. The three parts of the blockchain. These are the things that we use to access, to know that indeed what we are using is a blockchain. All right, because the block stored information, the blockchain, when we talk of blockchain, it stores information about the transaction, like the date, the time, the dollar amount of your recent transaction. So once your, coding, whatever you are coding, is able to store information in this manner, then it is getting closer to become a blockchain. So it's all about coding. All right, then the next thing, say the block also store information about who is participating in the transaction. So the participants, the to, and then the from. Is very, very important. So once your database is able to arithmetically identify who is sending and then the particular chain it is going, then we have no problem. Hello? All right, so normally when we look at the whole concept, you now realize that your wallet address is the key to the chain. And then the amount of money that is in the wallet is the block. Are you following? You good. The quantity, the sum in the wallet. So the chain. So you have to know the information about who are participating. All right, in that. Then the next one we say blocks store information that distinguishes them from other blocks. That is what makes it unique from any other. Because when I have $1 in my wallet, the cryptographic description of my $1 is different from your $1. Your $1 can never be my $1, though it is all $1. But the banks don't have that description. You understand? That's why the bank can choose to take your money, and then when you are coming to withdraw, they'll give another man's money to you, because there is no cryptographic representation of your money. And for that matter, any $1 is $1 in the banking system. So the banking database is not having these components. That's why their database is not a blockchain. So on a blockchain, when you have, it's amazing that once you create the money, all the crypto, the money that you minted, they all have a unique code globally. So you can trace where a particular crypto has roamed about the whole world. It doesn't change. So when my USDT move from my wallet to your wallet, it goes with the identity. It doesn't leave the identity here. So while sitting on your wallet, then you also transfer to another person. It also goes with the same identity. So it's unique. It can never be changed. It can never be tempered. This is why after they have created crypto, nobody can bypass to create more, because they have already minted it and it has been denounced, and every crypto knows their owner. One amazing thing about them is that they move together. They know each other. Are you following? All the dollars that were created within that blockchain, they know each other. So before any money is moving from one wallet to another, they have to ask permission from all the blocks. And they all have to give permission before the money goes. If not, the money will not go. So now we created 21 million Bitcoin. One Bitcoin want to move from my wallet to Miss Antiama's wallet. Then the block, the chain, the chain will ask all the blocks. Are you following? The chain, that is the component holding, will ask all the blocks. A particular coin want to move from Master Isaac wallet to Miss Antiama wallet. He says he's unique. He has this timestamp. All of you check from your database if you have that timestamp. And then they will all go through their database and check. Yes, I have him here. Yes, he's here. Yes, he's here. All the blocks in the world will have to verify then before it moves into your wallet. So when you manage to create another, they will say, we don't know you, so you cannot add more. You can never steal it. They will roam within the sphere. You can never tamper with it. You can't take it some out. You can't add more. You can only transfer. That is why the banks are afraid of the blockchain. Once the blockchain survives, all their schemes have collapsed. Because they are able to maneuver to steal. You deposit your money, they will tell you this money, the whole year will give you 5% interest. And then they will be the same money. They will give it to someone at 25-30% interest, and they will give you 5%. My money, you give it for 30%. Then you come and pay me 5%. And then, is it because you are smart or because you are tired? Just imagine. You, the one who is just using the money, go, come. And me who owes the money, I sweat for it, you give me 5%. Then you keep 25%. God will punish you. But no one is complaining. We are all happy. Are we not happy? We are happy they are selling us. And one problem I have discovered about humanity is that we have gotten to a generation of talkers. People are talking too many. They talk too much. The last time I met with one of our ladies, in UK, I told her, you see, I have attended your meeting and I have seen the people, the color of people. In fact, they are very intellectuals. I can say they are more enlightened than I am. But one thing I've discovered is that they talk too much. They don't take action. I am an action man. Yes, I am an action man. I don't talk much. They talk. Yes, because she invites me to a group of people, so intellectuals. What I'm saying, they will come and say, Pastor Isaac, stand. You are saying rubbish. They will give you the right data, but they can't act. Let's act and begin to take action on this. So this is what makes blockchain technology unique. Move on to the next one. Actually, the Bitcoin is based on this distribution ledger. So you can see, once the cryptocurrency is created, we have a system we call mining. Mining or farming is a method in which you are taking the currency from the mother chain into the sub-unit chains. Are you understanding the chains today when I talk of chain? Okay. It's mine. All right, since we are all getting enlightened, we have to understand when I say chain, mean your wallet, okay? All right, so the method in which the first transfer, moving off. Okay, let me off it. The movement of the currency from the mother wallet into the various sub wallet, the first movement is what we call mining. Under normal circumstances, let me teach you something here. No one should, on his own accord, by virtue of intelligence and money, you just create cryptocurrency, then you start selling. When you sell from the mother chain, then you are stealing. Because the currency in the mother chain, what did you use to buy? You didn't buy it. Even if you spend money to create, at least let them pay some small money for you to pay your development cost. Then you have no right to sell. So when Bitcoin created, or when Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin, he kept it and he announced it. After he announced it, he was the first person to mine. The first mining. Do you know what happened? Yeah, he was able to mine about 150 Bitcoin. Just the first transaction. He got 150 Bitcoin. And then he opened the block for the whole world to join and mine as much as you want. So people started mining. All right, so the concept of mining is chopping currency from the mother block, then it goes through the chain to form the next chain. So whilst it is being chopped, it will go through the Genesis chain or the Genesis block. It moves on and on and on and on until it forms the last block. So anytime you send transaction, you have created a new block. Do you know that? Anytime you transfer, you have created a new block. And when someone also transfer, your block have to verify before the next one is formed. So they keep forming a chain of blocks. And that's why we refer as blockchain. So you transfer money, it goes to form a new block. So the blocks keep forming day in and day out. All right, so we say the first crypto on 18th August 2008, a domain name, bitcoin.org, was registered. Later that year, on the 31st October, the same 2008, a link to a paper authored by Satoshi Nakamoto titled Bitcoin. Actually, the Satoshi Nakamoto is not an individual. They are a group of people. Yeah, they are group. Though they have a leader, in everything, there is always a person that spearheads the team. All right. So, but we believe for now, by virtue of where I am, I'm able to get a lot of information. They are Japanese by origin. Okay? From Japan. Yeah. So, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system was posted to a cryptography mailing list. This paper detailed the method of using a peer-to-peer network to generate what was described as a system for electronic transaction without relying on trust. This is the key element or the whole summary of Bitcoin. Yes. A system for electronic transaction without relying on trust. On the 3rd January 2009, the Bitcoin network came into existence with Satoshi Nakamoto mining the Genesis block of Bitcoin. That is the block number 0, which had a reward of 50 Bitcoins. Yes. Embedded in the Coinbase. That is the first wallet that was introduced, was Coinbase. First wallet. The same company that created Bitcoin, they introduced the Coinbase. So that is where it went. That is where it went. Of this block. All right, so you see, that is how it is. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto, he just built upon the concept that existed. 13 years now. Let's move on. Cryptocurrency has become so popular. It has taken over the whole world. And now we have gotten to another stage of altcoins. Altcoins are alternative cryptocurrencies that were launched after Bitcoin success. We call them altcoin. Any coin that came after Bitcoin is altcoin. Okay? All right. So sometimes some people say one-man churches. Ghana here, we say one-man churches. They generally project themselves as better replacement for Bitcoin. Altcoin be or a better chain Bitcoin. And God has some honor. And so we need a better chain that. Yes, one penny back. So Bitcoin emergence as the first peer-to-peer digital currency was paving the way for many to follow. Now let's move on to the next one. It is necessary. It is an era. And we thank God for the platform on which the crypto is built. If it is not built on mutable and on tempered platform, by now they would have hijacked it. But the platform is very secured. Most altcoins are trying to target any perceived downbacks or drawbacks that Bitcoin has and come up with a competitive advantage in newer version. So all the altcoins, they normally look at, okay, what has Bitcoin not been able to do? When they are able to detect, then they will build their system to cover that area. So they will come with a promise of replacing Bitcoin. I overtake Bitcoin. Currently, there are about 9,000 crypto globally. 9,000 cryptos. Yes, let's move to the next one. Yes. And when you look at this particular website, you just realize it. Yes, number of cryptocurrencies worldwide in 2013 to 2022. Yes. You see, 2013, we had 66 Bitcoin or cryptos. We had 66 cryptos. Then we move on to 2014, 506 cryptos. We move on to 2015, 562 cryptos. Now, why 2022 562 so low? Because Bitcoin was fluctuating. It wasn't good. Yeah, 2016 644. 2017 1,335. The same March 2018 1,658. Then November 2019 2,817. February 2021 we had 4,511. Then July 2021, just last year or July, we have 6,044. August 2021, we had 5,000. Why did we go to 5,000? Because there was a cleanup on the coin market cap. They cleaned up a lot of, we call them the shit coins, coins that were not having value. They cleaned them. So the clean up led to the reduction in 2021 August. Then the same year, just 2 months after, it metamorphosed from 500 to 680, because of the boom, the bull market. So last year there was a bull market. And due to the bull market, a lot of cryptos came into existence. November last year, 757. Then January, just this year, we have 9,900 cryptos in the world. Yeah. These are even coin market cap information. Those that have not been able to go to coin market cap, so you see, if they are all to join, my brother, don't go there. They are all running and competing for the race. I love this race because there are so many people. Are you okay? Let's take advantage. Let's take advantage of something. Move on to the next slide and let's see what we have to do. There is the common problem facing all altcoins, including even Bitcoin. These are the 4 problems. Having said this, if there is any other, you just tell me. The number 1 problem of cryptocurrency is volatility, isn't it? Ups and down. Today, the price is $10. Tomorrow, it is $5. I remember last 2 weeks, I went back to my station, and the young man, he's just a SS graduate. He has not even graduated. He was so interested because he see me posting it on my, timeline and status. So he said, I want to buy some. So I guide him to buy about $100. Yes, a secondary school student. So last 2 weeks when I went, he said, I want to check to see the value. I didn't check who. I didn't check. I just took the phone and said, this is your phone. I'm not sure your browser is updated. Update your browser. When I come back, we'll check it. Because the $100 have reduced. So he don't understand crypto. He say, so for where we are. We are all in trouble. When you are leading someone to buy crypto, be careful. Because they will say you have stolen their money. Because how much did I give you to buy the crypto? Is it not $1,000? How much am I having here? Okay, I will arrest you. I will arrest you. If you get someone like Asian Mama, he will arrest you. Hey, until I see you. Hey, this is my mouth. If I don't take care. So you see, the volatility is a big monster. Everybody's afraid of volatility. You put $1,000, it depreciate to $300. I remember some cryptos. I have about $2,000 something. Yeah, I'm waiting for this thing to grow, and nine something dollar, less than $10. 2,000, you. Above from $2,000 to $9. I don't even go there again because when I see it, I feel shocked. A lot of them came. Save Moon, save Galaxy, save what? This dog, this bull. A lot of cryptos. Where are they? The volatility is a problem. The next problem is the pump and dump. The same people that are helping to praise you, they will kill you. In fact, creators of projects, most of them come with good intention. But the followers, you can't trust any crypto follower. Now, crypto followers are like politicians. They will hail you, then they'll bring you down. So if you create a project and people follow you, oh, this project is good, oh, buy. Be very careful of that man. The next day, the money grow, he will pick it, and then the whole project will start going down. So the developers we are dealing with, they were sharing one of their secrets with me. I told you, they said last year, they created about 66 cryptos, and all it's not surviving. They disclosed this secret after they discovered our concept. But initially, they were coming for money. They knew, oh, they knew because they have created 66 last year. They are a very big company and that is their job. So when you come, they'll say, oh, crypto is a good business. If it's good business, you are the engineer. Why are you not creating some? And you are engineer. Why are you not creating? I'm telling you, if you give them $1, they will just take it fast. They love dollars. But they cannot. You are creating money. Creative here. Hey, master, when you create, it will pump and dump. No matter how smart you are. I heard they said Elon Musk was going to create crypto. Where is it? Yeah. And one wine is going to create, Amazon is going to create Telegram. Master, they should create. We will help pump it, we will dump it. That is the world. Am I lying? When you buy, won't you take profit? It costs like you buy $100, you go to $10,000. So you see $100, you're going for $10,000. So you see, once you are here and you're having the desire to take profit, I can bet you anybody in the world that creates crypto will fail. Before your project will succeed, then you have to get people that are not willing to take profit. Hello? That is why the old cryptos no one that's what last 2 years basing there you crypto be a join new cryptos now market no. Now Bitcoin succeeded because he has now become the mother crypto. Because everybody, before you even buy another crypto, you need Bitcoin before you can get to some cryptos. Ethereum also succeeded because they took over the market very fast. And people love them and they have utility. You know, all the transactions going through their block, you need Ethereum. The utility is sustaining them. The same thing to BNB because they have the largest exchange. And every transaction on Binance Exchange is in BNB. That is supporting them to stand. And this is coming area. If you have a project and you don't have utility, forget about it. So I can tell you by virtue of where I am and the little research that nobody in the world will succeed in the same formula going on because we have gotten to an era of pump and dump. Everybody is coming to buy your crypto with one mindset. And once that mindset is there, I'm sorry. Because you will be excited, you help them. One person alone taking profit will depreciate or will empty about 100,000 people's account. Because I have been telling people this secret and a lot of people don't listen to me. I said, when you bought the crypto $100 and you went for $10,000, the $9,900 and something dollars, no, why in there? Oh, crypto there, Obi, you need Sika any owner in crypto. Every money is for somebody who deposited it. So when you go for $9,900 and something dollars in the space of $100, you are taking some people's money. And this 9,000 is not one person investment. It's about thousands of people putting in small. So once you withdraw, they'll see red. Mean their money have reduced. Near you with the 50%, near you 1 Ghana, near you with the 200. According to who the NKC, then they will take small and give to the person who is taking his profit. Then the guy sitting there say, when it got here, I should have removed. Now it's going down. Let me also go and take profit. He will also go and then he will also say, I'm coming for my money. The blockchain will also give him his $20,000 from the small. So you, the person who came late, by the time you realize your money is finished. Because they took your money and they paid this man. Hello? There is no magic. There is no magic. We all come in, we put in small. Then those who are smart will take it away. And those who are not smart will go empty. That's why you are having zero in your wallet. This man, he has a lot of cryptos and they are zero. Last year, unless he didn't hear the whisper, he'll buy. Anytime he just hear crypto, contact address. Give me the contact address. You go and then my brother will buy about $1,000. Hey, what's you sue? You say you know more. Then the next week, another crypto, contact address. By the time he realized, he was having over 50 cryptos and all was red. Hey, my goodness. Some of them, you bought somewhere about $1,000. You have to force to sell it $200. Hey, you have to force to sell it 200. It's reducing. If you don't sell $200, you lose everything. And I'm one of those guys. I'll say I'll never sell 1,000 for 200. So this is the problem we have come to meet, my brother. Everybody is giving up. Everybody is giving up on crypto because the pump and dump can never sustain. And you see, the Federal Reserve, the elite, the banks, they are laughing at that because they see that we have failed. They are not afraid of crypto at all. At the current status, they are not afraid because we don't have the formula to overtake them. And even they decide what they want to use to give you to back your money. By now, Bitcoin should have been more than $500,000. But they have deliberately refused to give enough money to back the Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs dollars. So I always say, how can you come to me and say, I want to overthrow you from your throne. Give me your gun and I'll use to shoot you. The Federal Reserves are enjoying their dollar deception. And you are saying your dollar you are still in there. I want to overthrow your dollar. I'm bringing a new money called Bitcoin. But I beg you, give me the dollar to back my Bitcoin. You see the problem? Am I not speaking just the exact truth? These are naked truth, but no one is questioning. So the Bitcoin need dollar. So when they are taking away the dollar, then the Bitcoin will be going down. When they are adding more dollar, then Bitcoin will be shooting. So you cannot overthrow someone with his own ammunitions. It doesn't work in nature. That's why they decide the fate of Bitcoin. They said Bitcoin would never get to $20,000 in 2017. They said it. The very day Bitcoin goes to $20,000, it will crash. Indeed, the moment it hit, then that was the downfall of Bitcoin. It crashed from $19,800 and something dollars to $3,000. I mean, $19,000 to $3,000. That's what they did. They just did that to show to the world that we have power. That is the Federal Reserves manipulating the concept of Bitcoin. So, guys, the pump and dump is something that is phenomenon. No one can do anything about it. Then the third one is lack of proper regulation. Now, the project is created. We don't have any regulation. Everybody does what he wants. Even if anything happened to your money, you cannot question anyone. Sometimes it's disturbing. You open your wallet and no money is inside. Like there's no coin. I was having coin. Then you can't question anyone. So no regulation. No community. Whereby we say Bitcoin people in Ghana are meeting to discuss. Who is organizing that meeting? Because no leadership. So the anonymity was good, but it became another cancer for the crypto. Hello? Yeah. Then lack of mass adoption. When we talk of mass adoption, I want to buy water. Can I get someone to accept Bitcoin? Now the Bitcoin is globally accepted, isn't it? The whole world. But will someone accept Bitcoin for water? Meaning no mass adoption. Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency, no one cryptocurrency in the world has been able to attain to the status of mass adoption. Mass adoption means if I'm paying your phone for Bitcoin, you should accept it. And almost everybody accept it. The fact that you agree does not make it a global currency. You have to accept. People agree that Bitcoin is money. But for them to accept it is now a problem. So, no crypto has been able to break these fundamental four barriers. Hello? And you know something? Once you are able to identify the problem, we say it's also part of the what? The solution. Yes, understanding, identifying is the solution. Because the brains God gave us knowing, once you get a problem and you mean to solve it, you will get the solution. There is no problem that has no solution in this universe. Every problem under this universe or on this universe have solution. Unless you decide not to solve it. People just sat down and say, we want to go to the moon. Have they not gone? Somebody just sat down and said, no, I want to talk to someone overseas without any wire. They have done it. Someone will just sat somewhere and say, no. You know, one of our greatest engineers, Dr. Thomas Mensa, have you heard of him? Yes. He is one of the greatest gurus in America. He is behind sending mobile pictures, video. Yes, Dr. Thomas Mensa. Yes. Dr. Thomas Mensa is the person in the world that was able to, transfer fiber optics from the room, the engine room. It was only in the factory. He's the only person that was able to transfer fiber optics from the factory to the outside. And now fiber optics is able to they are able to connect it overseas through the sea, even to every part of the world. And that's why you are able to use 4G. Without fiber optics, 3G wouldn't have come into existence. Even 3 and 4G wouldn't have come into existence. Fiber optics is like glass, a glass spectrum through which that accept information or rays are able to pass through. That particular technology is like you are going to make a thread of glass, a glass that is malleable, glass that can be bent. That's why it wasn't transferable. You could only make the fiber optics in the factory, but you could not take it out because with the least error it will break and transmission cannot take place. And this man, Dr. Thomas Mensa, a Ghanaian that was taken to France because of his intelligence. He had all his education in France. And from there, the US discovered him and they invited him and he went and he studied for a period of 7 years and was able to transfer the glass technology, the glass thread from the factory and connect it to the whole city, and they were able to move further and further. That man is still alive. And for that matter, he was added to the American Hall of Fame. He is in the same place like Thomas Edison, those inventors. He's the same status with them. The greatest inventor in the world. Why? Because the task was given to him and he said, once there is the thought, there have to be a solution. 7 years research and he was able to transfer the fiber optics. I'm just trying to tell you, God has given us intelligence. Now we have seen that the problem is volatility. The problem is pump and dump. The problem is lack of proper regulation. The problem is lack of mass adoption. Come on. Let's move on to the next slide. No. Yes. And that is why the ancient and Leo token project was invented. Our aim is not about making you rich overnight too. Our aim is to tackle the 4 problems. That's all. If you're able to tackle the 4 problems, we are done. So we are in to tackle the 4 problems. And today I'll show you the solution of the 4 problems. If you're in this project, forget about, because you see, before we came out boldly, we were very careful because we have studied how a lot of people have spoken. They talk plenty before. We are not just going to talk, but we are also going to demonstrate what we do. So it's all about technology. In fact, our effort is about research and it's about technology. These are the 2 fundamental principles that are moving this project. All right, now you see, our aim is to modify and improve upon the concept and purpose behind the first cryptocurrency, just as I said, Bitcoin. That is providing an alternative financial relief to humanity, free from restriction and manipulation. All right, so according to Bitcoin, it says that does not need trust. Are you okay? And the trust means manipulation, restriction, third parties. All right, so this is the reason why we are creating Ancient project. And now the Ancient project has a yardstick, or we have a mandate to solve the 4 fundamental problems in cryptos. Now the number 1 and 2 problem is that the only solution to the problems of volatility and pump and dump is to have a crypto that is free from the stock market mechanism or mechanization of demand and supply, backed by the Federal Reserve dollar. Hello? The only solution, there is only one solution to the pump and dump and to the volatility. Only one. That currency should be free from the stock market mechanization of demand and supply. Get more dollar, the quantity of the price of the coin will pump. Less dollar, the price will come down. If you are not able to free yourself from that shackles, forget, you can't go anywhere. So any crypto that takes its crypto to the blockchain, public blockchain, and still align itself with the mechanization of demand and supply, I'm sorry, it won't work. It won't work. It won't survive because you need a dollar. And once you need a dollar, Allah, he is not a threat. Because we control the dollar. And we have our project targeting to introduce the first blockchain. I mean the first blockchain The first private blockchain in the world that is not backed by demand and supply. The other one, is not a blockchain. A word to a wise. So we are working towards that to introduce a blockchain that is different. You know what? Let me tell you, some of these things are very secret. We don't say them on air because somebody will be sparring with what names, Hey, I'm on air. Even if I'm on air, whoever is listening, you should go and then bend the seat now. I'll say whatever I want to say. All right, so you see, what we are talking about is in connection to when we were discussing this issue. Do you know the blockchain developer, they took over 1 month to research about how to get this done before they came out boldly to say we can do the project at this cost. 1 month research. Yeah, because we are giving them a task that has never been done before. You see, one thing about us is that we just give you tasks without thinking of whether you can do or not. We don't care. We'll pay you. Do it. So when we gave them the task, I never disclosed that document that I recently disclosed during our meeting. I never disclosed it, though it was with us since last year, September. But they were researching on it. So when all the team was formed, they said they were going to research. Because to them, before they will charge, then they have to know how to do the number of hours. Then they will base on the hours to charge the price. So they used 1 month to research. And there were so many instances that we asked them to do, which was more or less impossible. They've never seen it before. But there was a time when we were working on this transaction bonus, It was impossible. But he did it, and later on, I said, wow, you'll be able to do it. So, we were happy, and he laughed and said, we define the blockchain. That statement he made, the IT manager. I know that is it. Anytime I give him task, and he say, this is not possible, I say, remember, you define the blockchain. Force it. It will work. He said, okay, I'll try. Then I'll try. One day he says, isn't it? Yes. So you see, after they discovered it is possible to create a blockchain that is private, that is not backed by demand and supply, that is backed by the addition of people joining the community. They realized it is possible when they discovered they could connect it to the price of gold calculator, and they needed some keys on the price of gold calculator because that website is not for us. So if you don't get the keys to be able to track some information, you can't build our project. Hello? So after they were able to even get to the point of, I don't have to say this thing here. They needed to employ the work of hackers at some point to get them some keys. And to God be the glory, they are almost a month on the blockchain. You didn't clap here. You didn't clap. You don't understand. If it is easy, by now people have created it. If it is so easy, we would have had more than thousands of this caliber of blockchain. It's not easy. But I believe the divine source has favored us so much. He has thrown his light on us. And it's like anytime we want to do something, there is that kind of automatic response, automatic assistance coming from left and right. Even what the engineer says is not possible, by the time we realize they've had their breakthrough. Yes. Sometimes I last remember that one day he used a word like, your God was great. They are not Christian, they are atheists. They don't believe in God, But they will say, maybe your God was great. When we get to a particular challenge we are not able to solve, then they will manage to solve it. And then we get happy. So currently we are doing it. Now initially they came as developers. Now they are part of the project. They are no longer developers. Hey, don't go there. They are part of. They are part. Don't go there. They don't joke with it. If you joke, because they see future in this project. Yes. But the wisdom God has given us, don't undermine yourself. God has given us a lot. And I believe we are going to apply it in this society. So you see, when the crypto is free from demand and supply, the thing is backed by the number of people. So when you draw your money, has the number reduced? The number is still there. So it's just about the logic. So You don't have to enjoy your money and I'll be crying. No, it's still free. It's stealing. And even the dollar is not like that. Even the dollar in the Ghana city is not like that. If I have 1 billion in my account, you also have 1 billion. If you withdraw your 1 billion, that's my 1 billion reduced. So you see, they intentionally decided to downplay crypto. Yeah, because we all have 1 billion, 1 billion. When I withdraw, your 1 billion remain 1 billion. Why is that only in crypto that kind of reduction when you are withdrawing? It's still free. They are stealing you. There's no logic. But because the time in which Satoshi Nakamoto introduced, that time, Master, the freedom wasn't like today. If he had not agreed to that principle, they wouldn't have allowed him. But he agreed because they realized they could control it. So it was good he agreed. Because technological development in that time wasn't like today. Do you know the Web 1 was defined for you to go to the internet and research? Then Web 2 was defined for you to go to the internet and add content. Then the Web 3 was designed for you to go to the internet and, if possible, you are able to create your own content or whatever. Then we say the Web 4 is a 4 which is coming, which people call the metaverse, is enabling you to host your own content. Are you following? All right, so you see, guys, as we are moving on, we have gotten to a time in history that we are able to host, especially in connection to the Web3 and the metaverse. They enables you to host your project without anyone's interference, but you could not get that component in the Web 2. So at the time that Satoshi Nakamoto created, a lot of things were not flexible. So it was good he accepted the backing of the dollar. But we are so surprised humanity has stayed there for long. 13 years to me is too much. After 5-6 years, we should have broken that gap and then move on. But it's like we've stayed there for long. All right, so here we are. A new set of people has come up with this concept of ancient blockchain, in which we are going to launch very soon a blockchain that does not depend on the demand and supply. A blockchain that calculates the value of the coin according to the number of people backing it. And do you know why? One thing that makes us more stronger is that we are not backing our money, our currency with gold alone. No. We are backing it with something valuable than gold. And that's why they cannot fight us. Because once you say, no, you can't back your blockchain with people, you have to back your blockchain with gold, then you are valuing gold more precious than human being. Gold and human being, who is more precious? So why is it that gold is accepted, but human beings is not accepted? And that is why we are more powerful. Because human beings are the people that give value to the gold. So we have gone beyond gold. So our currency is backed by the number of people who are alive. And that's why we have managed to introduce the two-factor authentication. Because we are preparing ourselves for war. We don't care. Because in future, they can see you and say, the people on your blockchain are anonymous. Are you okay? Yeah. They are anonymous. They are just email addresses. So they are fake. These people, they are very smart. They can take you to court. They can sue you. They can stop your project based on that. Because the people are anonymous. Because you don't have any KYC. So your system is fake. Because anyone in the world can create email. And when they take this case to the court, any sensible judge will rule you wrong. Are you okay? You'll be guilty and they will be right. That's why we quickly worked fast and we introduced the phone verification. Because you authenticate the phone number with your country ID card. We don't need the ID card, but we need the phone number. You have already authenticated the phone number that is authentic. So that man came with your authenticated phone number. And he's there. He's there. So it is no longer anonymous email address. They are now human beings. Hey, have you given a phone number to dogs in your country? So if only you have given phone number, you've not given to dogs, then they are human beings. Who are the people using phone numbers in your country? And at the time they were registering, the phone number was active because they put in and then the code came, then they keyed the code into the system. So the phone number was active. So you can't say it's a dead phone number. It was active. If it's not active, it cannot go through. We are preparing ourselves for war. They should come. Ladies and gentlemen, I always, anytime we sit at the Zoom and I see some of you, and it's like, do you actually know who you are? Do you know what we are doing? Oh my goodness. A lot of people have still not understood what we are after. They are just following because they hear some coin. I'm telling you, you are a revolutionist. You are a revolutionist like the era of Martin Luther King Jr. You are like Mohandas Gandhi of India. Or you are like Nelson Mandela of South Africa. That is the caliber. Or you are like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. That's the caliber of status we sitting here have reached. Currently, we are organizing a very strong coup d'etat. I don't care if they are listening. They should listen. I don't care. My brother, let's go to the next one. These two fundamental problems. So, having listened to me, do you think our blockchain can solve the volatility and pump and dump? Can our blockchain solve it? So, have we been able to kill the two monsters in crypto? We have killed it with our project. So, please, you are not a zombie. I respect the kind of people. When we talk to you one by one, we look at your intelligence. We can't just throw dust into people's eye. Just like the way they think. Oh, don't leave them. They can't go anywhere. They've been able to, lure most of our people to even believe we will not go anywhere. Meanwhile, it's about the concept. It's not about the people. It's about the concept. Now, moving on to the next one. Forbes report in June 2021, just June 2021, last year says that the world total net wealth have hit 431 trillion. The whole world, money put together. Nearly half a quadrillion dollars. And over three quarter, that means divided by 4, take 3 of it is controlled by millionaires. Are you a millionaire? Only millionaires control 3/4 of it. Yes. That is, and that 481 trillion figure include the sum of financial wealth and real assets, net of liabilities, explained by Anna Zakohatwatki, author of the new report from Boston. That is the website under. So you see, that is the Forbes report. These are the group of people that gives good analysis and good report. All right, so you see, 431 trillion and 3/4 of it is controlled by a group of people. Just imagine. Move on to a group of people that in Ghana here, we don't even have enough. We don't have, do we have millionaires in dollars? Yes. Now you see, since they are moving now, according to report, by 5 years to come, they will be entering somewhere 600 and something gradually to 1 quadrillion. So they keep printing more money. That is funny. One funny thing about it. The Asian coin project came to counter this. We are not going to stop them. They will be there, but we want to produce a reliable means of transaction and alternate so that you'll be a free human being. You will now choose. In fact, living a life without choice is a life of slavery. Yes, if you don't have choice. Now, like I want to buy this, I have no choice. I have to use somebody's Ghana city. I can't change anything. Once it happens that way, then you are a slave. So our purpose is not to overthrow some money, but to give people choice. Just as I always make in my audio, I say, since we have government school, we need a private school. Yes. Since we have government hospital, we need a private hospital. Isn't it? We have media, and now we are having our private media right now, just, videoing me. We are having government telecommunication, we have private telecommunication. So we have government money, excellent. We have private money. Yes. This is logic. This is logic, my brother. This is logic. This is logic. Nobody can fight this. They can't fight it though. All right, so the Asian project has a very big vision. Move on to the next slide for me. So you see, a coin that only increase in value. Yes, we, the members of the Asian Society, do agree that each registered member of our private contract association shall contribute a value of 0.003 grains of gold. That is equivalent to $0.0011 as at the time that this document was prepared. That means the value of 3 grains of gold remain constant, but its equivalent in dollar may change depending on the gold price. Okay, so we using the equivalents. We are using the grains of gold in our encryptions of the blockchain. All right, so the blockchain don't know dollar. The blockchain knows only one thing, grain of gold. After you have gotten your grain of gold, then you can now change to Ghana cedi, to naira, to dollar. You decide. So when the coins come and the coins are pushed to your wallet, you see grains of gold. Hello? That is how it is. The default is grain of gold. So somebody will see 100 million grains of gold, 100,000 grains of gold, depending on the quantity of coins that are in your wallet. And therefore, you have it in grains of gold. And somebody will ask you, where are the gold? You say, hey, more precious than gold. They are human beings sitting somewhere. Yes. So we say that, yes, to the value of the coin. Our coin shall only increase in value and shall never depreciate till we get to 250 million verified members. At this point, ancient and anciento shall become a stable coin. That means it will no longer grow. The only growth will be when the grains of gold increases. Okay? Good. When we get to the peak, then it will only increase when the price of gold increases. But if the price of gold is stable, then the coin is stable. So you know something? This precious thing we are about to introduce, only the initial people will enjoy you. Those that will come later, they will come when the coin have stabilized. And therefore, they will love it because their money is... When you keep it, it doesn't... Because the number have already hit the peak. Are you understanding the logic? Yeah. So the people that join at the time that more people are now coming, they will enjoy the appreciation. So that is what is making us authentic, because the coin do not when you are presented to the world and you say the coin will only increase forever and ever, but you say told, we need a quantity of people to back it. And once we get these people, then we stabilize. It's all about numbers. And the whole world law, that's why we use the common law. The common law values people than money. So once we need a team, back it makes us more stronger, because empires and kingdoms were not built with gold, they were built with people. The more people, territory you cover, the more stronger you are. Not the more gold you have. It's now that we are defining the capacity and the authority of a territory by basis of the money. Initially, it was according to the number of people. And that is the original. That is what the common law have documented. People are more important. So your government, when they give birth to you, they will force you to get a birth certificate. And the more they get birth certificates, the more they get numbers. Then they go and borrow according to the number of population they have. So they use your certificate to borrow. Oh, it's true. That is true. All right, so moving on. Let's move on to the next one. Next slide. We will be wrapping up very soon. Don't worry. I hope it's not boring. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So solving the crypto problem 3 and 4. Now 4 crypto problems. We are solving the third and the fourth one. That is lack of regulation and mass adoption. No one regulates it. Everyone does what he wants, and mass adoption. In fact, it's amazing that the creators themselves can even empty the liquidity. Yes, and that's why they call rock pool. They empty it. Like, when they realize more has come in, like $100,000. Oh, come on. They will empty it and run away. And you can't arrest anyone. And I know a lot of coins in my brother wallet is rock pool. Emptied it. Because what kind of wallet is that it have changed to zero? $1 cry, but zero. Why? It means everything has been emptied. So, in fact, in this Asian project, nobody can rock pull you because physical human beings, isn't it? Which you can lay hands on. If anything happens, someone will just search for Mr. Ntiamwa house and then, hey, Mr. Ntiamwa, get ready. You're a leader. So whether you like or not, they will search for you and come and ask you because you are what? A leader. So we are able to solve that. Ancient or Leo community has established a more fair and transparent country and regional based leadership, whereby the first 100 highest token holders, in connection with the referrals and meeting participation from each country, are selected leaders to represent their members in the community. That means everyone in the world can be a leader in this community. Hello? That solved the problem of regulation. because we have people that regulate. If you are doing something is not fair, we can tell you, hey, stop it. Hello? Very soon, you know what will happen? Though it's not too necessary, but by virtue of familiarity, because you send transaction to me, I also send, we may be able to identify each other's wallet address. We may, because if you are very smart observant, you send to me, I send to you every day, you copy, as we keep doing that. So we will get to a time we will know each other. So you can't do anything fraudulent. And even what is the fraudulent about? Because you enjoy the money you have. I also enjoy my money. So where is the fraudulent? So there's no fraud in crypto. Okay? The only fraud in crypto is taking advantage of people that don't know. That's why we call fraud. Apart from that, there's no fraud. Everyone enjoys his money. Right, so the leadership alone help. Like today, we have been able to organize this meeting. I can tell you, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB in Ghana have not been able to organize this meeting. Because who is the BNB holder? They are on the blockchain, but we don't know them. So even if we BNB people want to organize meeting, where are they going to gather them? But we have people on Telegram, we have people on WhatsApp, we know ourselves, we have people on leadership, we are able to identify this and leader this or that. We have been able to break that protocol of trying to identify people that hold our crypto in person. That one alone is a plus to this society. And for that matter, we are able to regulate. We are able to control. We are able to, make policies. Because don't tell me the creators are intelligent than anyone. By virtue of divine source, God has never given intelligence to one person. When he does that, he's just helping the person to be tyrannical leader. So there's no one that has too much wisdom. No matter how smart you are, you end somewhere and you need someone's assistance. So because we are in the community, somebody will throw more light. Why can't we do this and that? Then do you know why the prayer become very stronger? Your suggestions are more than 80%, but you don't know. Your suggestions are working. When you suggest, so the suggestions we receive during meeting, the suggestions received from phone calls, even the people that are against us, they are also helping us more. Because when they speak anything ill, we quickly check. Is it true? They said this and that. Then we fix it fast. I remember one day they said, hey, don't mind them. There is some area they said, one wallet is holding this quantity in the internet. They are the first people that blew the alarm. They were saying that. And that red inscription, I went to the IT manager and said, hey, Oga, what is this? This thing, I don't like it there. He said, yes, we have to do this. I said, do it fast. Within less than 24 hours, you have cleared that red thing. One wallet holding what. We don't need this information. The critics help us. That's why we are community-based. So we listen to criticism, we pick the truth, the good ones, then we work on. We are not the people that say, if you criticize us, we will take away your coin. We will not take away your coin. We would rather love you, okay? So tell them to criticize more. Because their criticism have helped us to grow more faster. Less than 3 months. Oh my goodness, look at where we are. Because of their criticism. So tell them to criticize more. Because the criticism is what? Is working. The criticism is doing what? Is working. They should criticize. We like it. More ideas. It's only a fool that don't want criticism. Because the more people criticize, then the more we Ghanaians should love criticism. Because our adage, I don't know if Nigerians have it. We say yes, that adage alone is good for criticism. That adage opens door for people to criticize you because you are the person leading. You don't know your back. So those following can gauge and say, the thing is crooked. So you listen to them. So we love criticism. We love negativity. You talk about, if it is true, we correct it. If it's not true, we ignore you. Hello? It's very easy to ignore than to listen. So we just ignore you. All right, so please, this leadership kind of thing is very good. Yes, it's going to help us a lot. Move on to the next slide. Now, we have solved the third problem of regulation. Okay? Now, the last one of mass adoption is, move on to the next slide. Okay, I think, yes, the ancient mall project. Hello? The ancient mall project. Yes. The ancient mall project, people have not seen the wisdom behind this. And that was, the mall project alone is a lot. The last time I took the admins of each country through the mall, they were shocked to know the components of the mall. No, they were shocked because the mall is bigger than what you see. I think it took us over 3 hours meeting and we couldn't even cover everything. Yes, the admins, what the administrator. The mall have a lot of components. When you go to the admin panel, no, it's too much. A lot of items. Because the mall has been properly coded, to meet international standard. Initially, we were giving the idea to a body that we think are so vested in technology, who have gurus in IT gurus. So we were very careful that they don't downplay it to be a staff standard. So we inputted a lot of energy into the coding. Therefore, the mall has a very unique standard. I can tell you, irrespective of what you see, the mall has very close to the Alibaba, the Amazon software. Yeah, because it has a very classic international standard coding. And even our IT manager, when he detected, he said, who are the people behind there? I said, yeah, there. Yeah, so he was happy. And a lot of the concept we use for the ancient .cash is from the mall. Yeah, it's from the mall. Whereas in Ghana here, I am able to see only my leadership. And in Nigeria, they only see their leadership. When you create account, do you even put country? But you see automatically you are placing your country. That concept was taken from the mall. That concept, those who developed the mall, they imputed that concept to enable Nigerians to have their mall. When you Google ancientmall.com, you only have Nigerian goods. You don't have any good posted from Ghana. That concept, and we based on that concept to build the ancient.cash, so that you only see Ghana leadership without seeing Nigerian leadership, so that every country will be autonomous, really interference. The mall is here to help us with the mass adoption. And the mass adoption means pure water will be sold here, projector will be sold here, laptop is sold here, phones are sold here. People will love it. Once the person knows, when I take the money, I can buy it from this place. I'm telling you, he'll take the money. Yes. And very soon, wait for our coin. For me, I'm not giving this thing a lot of attention because this thing there is like an engine. The fuel is the Asian coin. The engine has been created. But what will fuel it is the Asian coin. To power them all with Leo is not easy. In fact, a lot of people are shouting, let's do. I don't see much wisdom in using Leo for this more. Because buying phones with Leo is like buying phones with Ghana cedis, isn't it? Because Leo is as equal as Ghana cedis. So if you buy a phone, 600 Ghana cedi with Leo on the mall, it's the same as buying the same thing from the Pat Thomas or wherever. So, but the ancient coin is going to change the narratives. Because the ancient coin, the initial adopters, they got it cheap, isn't it? Because they got it cheap and they're able to transact with it at a full value, they will have it. So you get the coin cheap because you are going to swap it. It is only you that is going to get it cheap. There are people that will come to you for it. Yes, because they are doubters. Immediately after the coin is launched, we are going to power every country. Let me give you some of the tricks. This project is a hit already. Don't worry. Because one, every country will be supported with some liquidity from the current token we are depositing. Okay? Do you know that money is for the community? We don't want to depend on it because we don't know those of you here that will be selling your coin that will swap it. But the quantity that swaps, that means you have relinquished the liquidity in the market to us. All right, so once you relinquish the liquidity, if your coin was assuming $1,000, $2,000, $20,000, then you swap it. All the $20,000 in the liquidity, you have given it to the community. So after the swap, we will share the liquidity to the countries. So $20,000, $10,000, $5,000, according to what we get. Start with it. That is number one. Number two, each mall will get a portion of ancient coin to sell after the swap for the stocking of the mall. Are you here? Yeah. Each mall will get a percentage of ancient coin after the swap. the coin will be in demand. After that one, mark it on the wall. After the swap, the coin will be in demand. The momentum of which MDS is working at Nigeria for this ancient, it will quadruple. It will go more than 10. Because now when he goes out, he don't get money into his pocket. But at that time, when he goes out for one trip, by the time he come back, he's going to buy a car. Do you understand at all? A lot of people have still not understood that area. A lot of people have still not understood. Because one, the first month, yes. The first month, we say the blockchain is ready, maybe May. When the blockchain is ready by May, we say, okay, swap your coin for ancient coin. Then people begin to swap on the website. You click on swap, then it goes. Then you get ancient coin. The token you brought is less in value, but the coin you are getting is high in value. Right now, the token is wallowing at 0.02 something, whilst the coin is moving to $3. So the coin keep increasing. So by the time we are swapping, even that they are said, even if the coin is $10, hello, and then you are having, let's assume, 100,000 coins in your wallet, 100,000 ancient. Is that not $1 million? Yes, $1 million. Are you here? Yeah. Now that $1 million you have in your wallet is real money, because we create a platform for people to use. And the first platform, we are stocking them more with the Uncle Sam dollar. You understand? We are stocking them more with real money. It's money. So we will pick the money in the liquidity. After the swapping, please, no one should check at the price because it's not needed. We can decide to lower the price to 0 and start building again because we need liquidity. So we will empty the liquidity at that time, and then we distribute it to the people, the ownership of the mall in maybe the first 4 or 5 countries. Hello? Only countries that have failed their leadership board will be considered. And as we speak, only 2. Ghana and Nigeria. Kenya is still building. So we are anticipating maybe Kenya may join by May. Hello? So 3 more. Let's assume we have about $30,000. Currently, don't we have more than $30,000? The one we have in the farming plus the one we have, Massa, it's not a lot of money. So even if we have 20,000 for Ghana, 20,000 for Nigeria, 20,000 for Kenya, we can get. I'm telling you, $20,000 is a lot of money. We created Kringle more. If we have gotten $20,000, by now we wouldn't have been here. We're not giving even a penny. So we know what $20,000 can do. I am explaining that thing. Yes. Are you following? So the first token of the mall is with Uncle Sam dollar. We are not waiting for the Asian to stock it. So we are using the dollar to stock it. So we go to buy phones and everything. So who are the people to decide? That's why we have given every country mall executives. So the mall executives will sit together in a forum. How we have to manage the $20,000. What are the things we need to buy? What are the demand? You know, should we buy? Some people think Africa, we only need food, isn't it? All the time, we are going to feed Africa. We are going to feed Africa. Say, only food. Because you are going to visit your pig farm, it's not food that you are sending to them. Food in one here. Come on. We need ideas. We need technology. We need a lot of things. For God's sake, we don't need food. If we talk of food, we produce food here. We need ideas. All right, so the mall executive will decide together with their stakeholders, okay, council members. Then they will decide what they want to stock. After they have agreed on 1, the commodities to stock, 2, how to handle the items, how to do the distribution, whether you want to use the centralized method whereby all the items are in one place, or you want to use the decentralized method where parties in Accra, parties in Koforidua, you decide. Then it is launched. You stock the mall with the item for 100% ancient. Hello? 100% ancient. The first token. So the person that got the ancient cheap will now come to buy laptop with the ancient because there's laptop on the mall. Then he give you the ancient. Already at that time, the exchange has also started spinning. People that thought, hey, you can buy laptop with this ancient. You mean you laptop? Oh, my brother, I want $10,000. I want $10,000. You are now going to give him the $10,000. So you push your ancient coin. Because apart from getting it from you, there is no way. You get the idea? Our people want demonstration. That's why we were building the Leo to get the initial to stock it. For them to believe. So once they see I'm able to buy. So do you think when we give money, that's why we were careful in selecting the people that are the executives. If you don't take I am the first person. So we said people that are credible, has credibility, people that has the financial strength. Because if you are not financially sound, you can't be at the top, okay? So the first 7 are people that are strong. And for that matter, because they have strong financially, they don't like your money. Now we are not stealing your money because by God's grace, we are not poor. Hello? If we were to be hungry, we would be stealing small. Yeah, so you see, we are not stealing your money because God has blessed us a lot. And when we know, when you have such people who are financially sound, they'll be able to manage it well. Are you okay with that? All right. And besides that, another 100 people are also watching because they also have a say. That's why they are council members of them all. The 100 people have no role. The role they play, power is to help regulate them all. So any decision that you take in your country, you have to include the 100 people. If not, our lawyers together with us will write our article of association, that is our constitution, and we will bring in sanctions for violating some of the principles, okay? Including adherence to some principles of using the more liquidity. All right, so everything will be well regulated. So people are able to buy. Whilst people are able to buy, it will enable our coin to be in demand. And once the demand is coming, your publicity will now depend because the thing will go viral. At that time, we will be on radio. We will not just be on radio because the society is going on radio. You will force yourself because you have more coins to sell. Are you okay? Yes. The time Lay and I went radio all over the country. If the mass supply wasn't happening somewhere, we would have been billionaires. Because you speak on radio and people are coming with a lot of money. But you cannot sell because you can't even move your coin. You can't move it. So we could not sell. And we were not even allowed to sell because if you dare sell, the person come to mass adoption and say, Pastor Isaac sold the coin, it will be against the rules. Are you okay with that? So we were just broadcasting, but we detected that if the person was not distributing from the top and we were the people allowed, we would have been billionaires at that time. We saw it clear. People have money, but they don't trust the bank. They want somewhere to invest. So once they detect that when they invest, the money will not reduce, my brother, they will come and invest. Who will still hold his money in bank if he get the trust that putting the money in Asian society will never reduce? My brother, they will do. Though they will not come at once, but they will come bit by bit. So distribution, you will be on air broadcasting because please don't be afraid. Just recently, you see Joy News is now publishing about cryptocurrencies. They are all aware that cryptocurrency have come to stay. Please. So nobody, and even when we were going around, initially we thought we will be interdicted, but nothing happened. So later on, initially we were dodging the government radio stations. Later on, we were all over the government radio stations. We went to BA, we were sitting on radio BR. We were just there, because we realized everybody, even the government officers, and the number of people that we brought into the community, majority of them were policemen, military, and other people in the civil servant. You see? So we realized that everybody is now enlightened. People just want trust and security once they get that. So after the distribution, you will now be allowed to do publicity and sell your coins. The first batch of distribution, it will be foolishness for you to hold it. Are you following? Yes. It is wisdom for you to sell everything. Don't force to hold. Sell everything and get more leave for the second phase. Yes. That is it. Sell everything and get more leave. Once you sell, you buy leave for the second swap. So the more you are forcing to sell, the more he's forcing to sell, the more this person to sell. The person who bought it from you, when he took it from you, after 3 months, the value have increased because more people are joining. He will also be compelled to take profit. He will also want to buy or he also want to sell to someone and also pick profit. So he will also join the campaign team. Are you okay? So whilst you are campaigning, he also campaigning to sell what he bought from you. And that is how, because it is a legal tender, it has security, it is very secure, and it can be used for transaction of goods and service. All right, so whilst we are doing that, then we are also managing, we are the owners, so we have already encrypted it. Any sale of coin that is coming from the More wallet have to be fast-tracked. It will be put on the first row, because the exchange will enable those that are coming in. Either they get it from you or they get it from the exchange. Are you okay? Yeah. 2 ways to get the coin after the distribution, the first phase. They will get it from you, no problem, or on the exchange. So those coming to buy from the exchange, the more coins that we gave to the country to support, they may also want to sell some. So when the more comes to sell their coin on the exchange, their wallet is identified by the system. So the system will fast track it to be on the first row so that one will be sold out first before any individual. Are you okay? Yeah. We are protecting the more for our all good. So anytime the more is selling coins from its wallet to stock, because the more took the coins, one, from the people that are buying and from the percentage that the community gave. So they will need to sell it in order to stock the more. So the mall will be given priority on the exchange. So once the mall is selling, everybody in the community will be put on hold until the mall have sold. Yeah, if you want it fast, go and campaign and sell it to your brother. Are you okay? Yeah. Or if you want it fast, there is another method I will educate you about. All right, so the mall will never run out of liquidity because always when people buy, they are able to swap it on the exchange. Furthermore, let me give you another clue. We are going to advise. This one is not compulsory. But we believe when we advise, the executive will listen. The 100 people that forms the council members, Master, invest shares in the mall. The mall have no owner. The mall is for the people. So do you want to benefit from the dividend? Yes, then invest shares. So once you go around to sell your Asian coin, don't chop everything. Buy some Leo and invest some shares in the mall. Okay? And unfortunately, only 100 people are permitted to invest to. Unfortunate. According to our leadership structure, only 100. Nobody can join the investors apart from the 100. Yes, if you want to be part, then be a member in 100. Forced to push someone outside and join. Yes, it's possible. Yeah, that's all. We are doing that because we want there to be easy regulation, And, they have been stealing us. Now, we go to EcoBank, you say you are a shareholder. Do you have a say in EcoBank? MTN, they say shareholders. Do you have a say? So, you see, they are just fooling us. They'll call you a shareholder, but you cannot say anything. And anytime they are even hosting their AGM, they host it on stadium. You go there, noise, then celebrities will come and sing music. Satawale will shout, and then they will close. You went for shareholders meeting. No. So we want the 100 people to be recognized, 100 people to be, responsible. People, because they are not too many, so they have a say. When you are too many, you don't have a say. That's why we use that principle of 100. So please, that's the third option. The first option is that we support them more with the token liquidity. The second, we give them more some coins to sell. Then the third one is that you, as a council member, do you want to benefit in dividend? Invest. So we are not saying go and sell your house. After the swap, please, nobody should ever tamper with his property. We are tired. We have to build properties. It is this time that we are selling properties. After the swap, rather create properties with the coin. So go do publicity, sell the coins, and then when I say sell the coins, am I offending you? Like Bitcoin, Ethereum, when you have it, don't you sell it? So whatever means you manage to sell, sell. That is what will create the demand. Because the more you talk, the more this man talk. If you don't sell, at that time, I say, we will not be talking again. Referral purchase bonus. And at the end, like we are forcing you. At that time, if you like, keep quiet. If you like, sell. But the news that will be coming, the testimonies, the cars that people will be buying. Oh my goodness, tear rubber. If you sleep, sleep. Because that is when people will now begin to sell it to the whole world and then get enough. So when you get that money, you invest some to buy Leo for the second phase of the swap. Okay? Because I believe, from my calculation, the first phase may not exceed 20% due to the adoption. The first phase, we can't empty more than 20% of the coins. So even if we are able to go far 20%, the 80% will be locked, waiting for the second phase. So you position yourself for the second phase of the distribution. That may be the last phase, because it will all depend on the people waiting for the second. But do you think, since a lot of people are going to miss the first phase, do you think they will miss the second phase? So the second phase will be wild. Exactly like the farming. Now, I'm fed up of farming. They say, because more people have farmed. All right, so people will still farm to get more token. People will buy to get more token. It's at your own expense. The more tokens you have, the more you benefit from the second phase. So because you have a chance of getting some from the second phase, that's why we advise you, sell all, if possible, that you get in the first phase and position yourself for the second phase. How do you position yourself? Get more Leo and then invest in the more project so that you get more liquidity. Okay? This one, you are building a legacy for yourself and for your children. Because even after your death, may God forbid, but even after, I don't know who will be able to pull your name out of the leadership board. So your child may inherit it and manage the account if only you had good rapport with your children. The system is regulated. We don't want to say this person is no. It's about the wallet. So we don't even know much about your personality. Once your wallet is connected, it is a system you've built for yourself. So for me, our advice, use every available protocol to maintain your legacy for yourself and for your children. Okay? All right. The rest, you will continue, because this thing is too broad to extent that we can't figure it out. The future of this project is too broad. Sometimes when we get there, we get lost. What will happen after 20 years, after 50 years? What will happen when you happen? We know is that the system has been programmed and it works forever and ever. And the highest holders will be leading forever and ever. So you have to position yourself more shares in the more, so that the shares, because remember we deal with ancient, because we take ancient, we will pay ancient. So even after the distribution, the shareholder will still be making ancient from the dividend daily. So those that will invest as shareholders in the more will forever and ever be enjoying distribution. Do you understand? Because the more people are buying with ancient, the more the company make profit. And they share the profit among their people. Is that not what it is? A percentage of the profit is shared among the people. So when you are a shareholder, you continue earning dividends. So your distribution never ceases. And we believe that's how you can secure your position for yourself and for your children. Because even if you are cashing out, the dividend comes to replace. Okay? Any other thing, in fact, we leave it to you people to decide. I don't want to go there because we are really having a lot of things we are thinking. Okay? So this mass adoption method of swapping and allowing you to go around and then campaign and sell as many coins that you can, and they're also trying to sell, and they're also trying to sell. Do you think we can get to mass adoption? Do you think we can get more people accepting it? Then we have solved the fourth problem. The four monstrous problems in crypto have been solved. Hello. I was signaled after this I should give 10 minutes for shake off before we continue. Do we agree to that? Ancient project. So we need a public project. So we respect the concept of the public blockchain. So we created a public project in order to get you. Because if it had not been because of the fact of Leo is liquid, you can swap, you can sell, you wouldn't have joined. Hello? But because you got the confidence that Leo is swappable, you trusted the project. Now, if we have given you some coins that cannot be swapped and say keep it out for 6 months, you see, you don't say, this black man again. Hey, why again? Why again? I don't want you to bring anything on. So you see, it will be very difficult for me to make publicity about it because the previous one we make publicity, they ask you where has it gone. All right, so we didn't want to give you any kind of tokens, coins, to hold for future and swap. People will not trust it. That's why we decided to build on the tentacles of the public blockchain so that people will have confidence and trust that indeed this exists. Because you are able to buy the same place you bought, you are able to sell there. So we will use this one to gather the people, which is the most treasurable, treasurable thing in our society. The people as treasure, because when you add more money, it doesn't affect the ancient coin. But when you add more people, it affects the coin. So by the time the coin is launched, we already have the community. So the token project was brought in to organize the community from the public community. So we are carving a private community from the public community. Okay? All right. Just as Bitcoin needed the dollar to survive, so do we also need the public crypto to stand. But after we have survived, we no longer need the public crypto. We also created the Leo to gather liquidity. Because I keep speaking, the initial Asian model we talk about, we said the liquidity of the public Leo is going to be the startup capital for the mall. Okay? When we say all this, that is why a lot of people love the project from day one, because the project is self-explanatory. It's not like imaginary kind of something you are doing, because it is logic. If you are reasonable, you just see this is possible. Okay? Unlike sometimes they will say, oh, we are bringing in merchants. How are we going to sell when the merchant come? Don't worry, when we get there, we will show you. That one only, it was like 419. Because we went around telling people that you just get a coin, merchant will come in like flat. And the question was, when the merchant accepts, how will they get their money back? And the answer was, don't worry, when we get there, we will show you. We don't want to say when we get there, we will show you. That's why we created the Leo to support the mall with liquidity. Furthermore, the Leo also enables us to do a fair distribution that is not against the fundamental human law that we operate within. The fundamental human law will not permit us to create coins that has no strong, we didn't buy. You just create Asian coin and you start selling. No, it's against the rule. It's thievery, or it's stealing, or we say it is scamming when you do that. All right. So, but the concept of swapping is logic across the whole globe. Swapping is logic. Because, in fact, fairness is very important in monetary economics, okay? If there's no fairness, people will not trust that currency. So, fairness. So, get more Leo, swap for more ancient. Nobody will grudge or will grumble. Nobody will complain for you getting more ancient than him. Because you gathered a lot of Leo. And now everybody have the chance to gather Leo. The method that I use to gather Leo, the same method you use. And no one is advantage over his neighbor. All of us have an equal means of getting Leo. So let's all strive for more Leo. And when the agent is ready, we'll ask you to bring the Leo, and then we'll swap it for you to get the ancient coin. Okay? All right. So all these were well calculated in order to dodge some of their litigations channel. You know, they have some mechanism to litigate. That is why Facebook couldn't bring his coin, Libra coin, because there were some loopholes. So when they took him to court, he couldn't stand. So he lost the suit. Yeah, so he have decided to ignore and focus on the metaverse. Because the metaverse is also another big project. He don't want the the token or the coin project to consume all his time. It was wasting a lot of years, at court. So he have ignored it to focus on the metaverse because he left some loopholes. We understand that. Yeah, we understand that. So far as the internet is there, we can't be ignorant. Okay? So far as the internet is in existence, we can't be ignorant. You are only ignorant if you want to be ignorant, because every bit of information, you have it on the internet. All right, so we keep researching. Anytime we hear of an impending challenge, we quickly research about it to find out how to solve some of those challenges. All right, so we are anticipating that the Asian exchange is going to be one of the biggest platform to support our ecosystem. I was talking about the Asian media, the Asian mall, the Leo project. Now, you know why we have the Leo project. So no stress about the price, because our purpose wasn't to compete with Bitcoin. Okay? We never brought Leo to compete with Bitcoin. We rather brought Ancient to compete. For that one, we agree. But we never committed ourselves that Leo. So I always tell people, please stop hyping too much focus on the price of Leo, because if not, we will fail. Because the mechanization of the public blockchain, we can't control the demand and supply. So we, like a lot of things, goes against us. So though you want the project, the price to go high, what can you do? It got to a time, a lot of things were going on there backstage. You sell some liquidity because we wanted to maintain the price. I told Tible, bro, this nonsense must stop. We need money to build a blockchain. If they will sell, let them sell. We can't be selling and some people are adding liquidity, because we wanted to hold the price. Because we thought you were too panicking. When people see the price falling, they get panic. Meanwhile, someone bought his Leo and he's selling. How can I stop him? So we didn't promise you mass adoption or abundant-based currency with the Leo. Please, if you have Leo, excellent. You can choose to Leo as a store of value and sell in future when the price appreciates. That is at your own discretion. But our fundamental or primary reason for the Leo was for you to make money out of it. Okay? Our Leo was for you to pay for Ancient. But selling it on the exchange to make money is another means of getting the Leo. So you choose what you want to. But we are after the Jacobs, not the ASOS. Okay? The Jacobs think of the future, not the ASOS who think of today. So we are gathering more Jacobs who will keep their Leo and wait for the Asian coin, which is very promising. And you can see from the one that my energy level always rises when I'm talking about Asian coin. When I'm talking about Leo, it drains a lot of energy for me, because it's very stressful to defend the public crypto. If you defend public crypto, you'll be you lose, because if people don't withdraw, do you know the Bitcoin is backed by dollar direct? Bitcoin is not backed by any crypto. Bitcoin is backed by dollar direct. Whilst Ethereum is backed by Bitcoin. And BNB is also backed by Bitcoin. Okay? So that's why when the price of Bitcoin moves and all follow. Because Ethereum, BNB, Solana, and Co, they are all backed by the Bitcoin. So the price of Bitcoin control all of them. So they all move in the same pattern. And Bitcoin is backed by United States dollar. That is how it is. So when they withdraw more, then the price goes down when they put in more dollar. So when they want to affect your BNB, they don't have to come and buy BNB or sell. No, they will just go and pump more money into, or take more money out of Bitcoin. BNB will start dropping because BNB is backed by Bitcoin. Okay? That is how the blockchain was designed. It all begins at a time of designing, developing your blockchain. Then you feed it with the concept. Only accepted concept for your blockchain to be accepted on the coin market cap is for it to follow the pattern they have laid for you. If you don't follow, they reject your blockchain on the coin market cap and your project cannot sell. And we thank God our blockchain we are not sending to the coin market cap. So please in future don't ask me which market cap is ancient. If we take this credit, they will discourage and they will not accept it because it has all the weapons to slaughter them. So they won't accept it. So we are not targeting the coin market cap. Okay? But do you know what will happen? Oh, I don't want to tell you about the future. But you can start reading from your instincts. You realize that among us, some may be creating private cryptos within our, okay? And that one we also begin to form another market cap. That is a section or a selection, a group of private cryptos. And we start rating them at that arena. Yes. Yes. Just as the coin market cap started with just Bitcoin, followed by the rest, so can our coin market cap, our market cap with the Asian coin, followed by future private coin that may be adopted by people among the community. It is accepted. Just like now we have private teachers association, then we have government teachers association. And no one can stop that. All this is about freedom, using our sovereign right as humans. We are not against the law. We are not violating the law. We are not stealing anyone's money. We are only forging for freedom. And no one will against this. Okay. All right. So the next pillar, fundamental pillar of this project is the Ancient Exchange project. The exchange, as I said earlier, during our previous meetings, that it has three mechanizations. The first one is about the smart swap. The smart swap concept is what will enable you to swap your Leo for Asian coin. So that one plays one role. So we task the developers to work on that. So they will code a system to enable you send your Leo to a particular wallet and then get Asian in return. Okay. So that is it. Just simple. So one thing. And the smart swap is unilateral. It's not bilateral. It's about Leo to ancient. That's all. That is how it is. Then we have the next stage. So you can understand the smart swap will work for only a month within the first phase of distribution. Okay? After the month, the smart swap will be dysfunctioned or disabled. You cannot use it again because no more ancient for distribution. Because we have finished with the first phase, we've locked it. So the smart swap will not be useful. If you have Leo, it will remain in your wallet till the next phase of distribution. I know someone want to ask, how long will the first phase, after the first phase, how long will it take for the second phase? We don't know. Then we are targeting something we call scarcity and demand. When there is scarcity, then there is high demand before we release the second one. Because when there is few coins in circulation, it raises the level of scarcity, therefore increasing demand. Okay? And due to the nature of our project, when we release more coins, it doesn't affect the price. If it was demand and supply, and what besides if you release more coins, the price will fall because more coins, then they will all share the liquidity. Okay? But in our case, when we release, assuming 20%, and the 20% has been able to attract that thing we call scarcity. People ask, demanding for it more. If you have an Asian coin for sale, it's like having Bitcoin now. You just announce, I have BNB. Someone will say, give me. That's how we want to create. So that on all the escrow platforms, all the, private exchanges, they will all be holding. Do you know sometimes you go to eBitcoinX and other platforms to buy Bitcoin? These are not exchanges. No, these are just P2P platforms. When we talk of exchange, we are talking of platform that holds liquidity. Okay? Until the platform holds liquidity, the platform is not an exchange. So eBitcoinX, CoinMama, and those platforms you buy, they are just P2P. Someone sat down and programmed his system. You are having Bitcoin for sale. You give you Momo. Then you take the Bitcoin and sell it to another person. Those places are different. No one will regulate. No one regulates them. So those people may even accept the ancient, because once they see demand, they will ask for it. They are following profit. Okay? They are after profit, so they care less where the coin is coming from. So once they see more people are demanding for ancient, then they will also buy it from you. So we want to create an environment in which ancient is now very scarce. So after the swap, we are powering our exchange, we are powering our more, putting more elements in it. Just as I said, you go sell, invest some as a shareholder to increase your chances of getting more ancient. So the ancient more is becoming more bigger and more powerful. A time will come, we are selling mobile, automobiles, cars and everything there. Yes, because 100 people supporting it with their liquidity and the community funding it with some coins. Come on, we can sell anything on the mall, okay? Houses. And you know what? Individuals who missed the distribution may also want to sell their item for ancient. Yes, someone can choose to place his car at a high value for ancient. Okay? If you have sold the car, maybe you could have sold it at maybe 300,000 Ghana cedis. But he may choose to sell 500,000 Ghana cedis for ancient. And someone will buy. That is how it will be. At the beginning of everything is slow. You know, he's selling it 50,000 cedis for ancient instead of 30,000 cedis for cash. He wants more ancient. And the ancient is still in the process of getting mass adoption. And you have enough ancient. So you wouldn't mind buying it at $50,000. So a lot of people that are missing this chance will have to sell their properties. So we will observe the system to see the level of saturation. When we say the level, the system has been saturated and there is a need for more ancient, then we now release the second phase. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years, it could be 4 years. We don't know how long it will take. Hello? Yeah, it's not about the BM show. It's about we understand the mathematics. There is no value in abundance. Do you know that? Excuse me, there's no value in abundance. It's a bitter truth. It's a bitter truth. Anytime there is abundance of food, look at the price. It's cheap. So if you really, in fact, the scarcity is not determining the price. But the scarcity will create something we call trust. Okay? In this crypto project, the Asian project, we don't need the high price to make it valuable. We need the trust. Trust. In fact, we are after something we call confidence. Okay? That is what we are building. That's why we are incorporating the exchange and the more to build that level of confidence. Once we are having about 20% of Ghanaians believing that Asian is money, my brother, it's a game over. Okay? Percent is a game over. That means we have attained confidence. Once the confidence is there, then we will now open the gate for the second phase of distribution. Okay? In fact, we will be able to give you some specific timelines getting to the closer of the distribution. When we are getting closer, we are still studying. You know, it's all about data. When you come to our team, we don't deal with perception, we deal with data. What happened this year? What happened this place? What happened? Why should we do this? When we do this, what will be the outcome? That is what we deal with. We don't listen to follow. We deal with data. So we are still gathering more information as to how long it will take for us to develop that trust. Then we will now release the second phase of distribution. For that one, please, no pressure. We are all going to create a good platform for our project. We don't want to rush, release everything. Then we are having plenty ancient in the world, and it's like you're having 1 trillion ancient. I'm sorry. It won't go anywhere. So it should be scarce. So that you're having like about 1 million. By the time you realize the $1 million is reducing. Hey, I don't know, cool. Because you are buying this, you are buying that, you are giving, the money is reducing. In fact, money is valuable, and therefore money should be scarce. Okay? We believe we want to create abundant-based economy, but our abundant base will happen after a scarcity-based economy. Okay? Yes. It is something unique we need to understand. So we release few coins, not that we are forcing to release few. Few are joining. Therefore, few will go out to create the demand and then the confidence. When the confidence is attained, then we will now open the door for the second phase of the distribution. By the time more cryptos or more ancient is coming to the system, already everyone in the world believes that ancient is money. Okay? So no matter how more you release, it will not affect it. But you know what? There is one problem, one economic problem that we may face, or the whole world will face, and that is the problem of inflation. Are you here? Yes. We may create a problem of inflation. That's why we have to also be very careful and strategic. We need to inculcate all economic principles in the release of our currency so that we don't build up inflation at a rapid stance. Whether we like or not, Federal Reserve, they are printing more money. So you can't stop the prices of goods and services going high. All right, but what we want to do will destabilize the system. It will destabilize it because the whole world will go through some turmoil. But we believe immediately after the distribution, some of you people watching me here will vanish from the system because you will not be open again because the whole world will be looking after you. Yeah. There is a lot of economic battle in the project, but we don't normally talk about that. But don't be scared about that. It only gives us the momentum to prepare very well. Okay? We're on top of the game. The people behind the project, I'm telling you, we are both physical and spiritual. Okay? So don't be afraid. Before they even think, we have already thought of it. Right now, they've not thought of suing us. But we have thought of what they will put on the paper. Therefore, we have started preparing our defense ahead of them. So by the time you think of taking us on, we already have our defense. That is what we are doing. So that's why we have the legal team. We have very special arrangement with the legal team. And they are also putting a lot of things in place to make sure everything is in order. So to make sure we stand any public suit that will be against us. Okay? But you know what? They are afraid of numbers. Let us do our best to get the numbers. Once they are venturing into an organization that has numbers, they'll be scared. Let us get 1 million, 2 million in Ghana. And tell them, if you tamper with that, we will not vote for you. I'm telling you, nobody will tamper with us. 2 million people in Ghana. And we tell that politician, if we joke with that, we are not going to vote for you. Oh, they will all come and buy Asian so that we vote for them. So it's all about the game of numbers. If you are not bringing the numbers, then we are digging our own grave. But once we bring in the numbers, forget. Even if it is illegal, once you have the numbers, you will go through. Am I lying? That's how it is in the world. It's a game of numbers. You don't have to be 100% legal before you go through. You have to have the lobbies, the protocols, the muscles to be able to shout. Just like Mr. Prosper said, every man have wisdom in his sense. It takes money to volume it. Yes, money to volume that wisdom. So once we get the numbers backing us, even if it is illegal, we still go through because they are afraid of numbers. Okay? And indeed, if they joke, we vote them out and we vote our people in. You know, you have not yet thought of the political aspect of this project. Once you begin to think of the political aspect, you understand the people sitting right here. You just take the video and keep it for some time. You see the ministers, the president, the vice, and the MCs, and so on coming out of this place. Because what you need is the numbers and the liquidity. Once you have recognition and once you have money, you can do everything. And if Ancient is able to organize, mobilize about 5 million people in Ghana out of the 30 million, don't you think we can win a vote? Anyone that stands in the society can win a vote. Because in Ghana, you need just about 6 million to win a vote. Okay? All right, so please, the aspect is a no-go area. I'll leave that one to you people to think of. But we are building ourselves gradually to become somebody strong. In fact, our organization is more stronger than Kwame Nkrumah CVP at the time of formation. Okay? Our organization, Asian, in Ghana now, is more stronger than Kwame Nkrumah CPP. The political party he organized to stand for independence against UGCC, we are more strong than that party. Because they didn't have the numbers, they didn't have money. We have the numbers. In 3 months, we've getting 1,000 people. No, go and read the history. That man struggled enough before getting even a handful of people to support him. But he had very vibrant and were willing to speak. That is made him gain some recognition, boldness. So please, let's get the numbers, okay? All right, so the coin exchange. The coin exchange is another component of the exchange that will enable you to sell your coin on the exchange. So once you come here, it's a coin for sale. As I said earlier, it will queue if there are no more buyers. We don't want to promise you, oh, once you go to exchange, you sell, you get money. You should ask, where do you get the money? So it should be logic. So there will be demand. You know, when you go to the market, there are two people, the seller and the what? The buyer. So you are the seller, you have to meet a buyer. So in case you go and there's no buyer, you wait. Is that not what happened in our traditional market? So you wait for the buyer to come, then you sell. But the only thing we don't entertain is discounting. No, we don't give you the chance to discount your coin. So your coin should be placed at the state value. And we don't also give you any mechanism to beat the protocol. Like, you know, we see a lot of platforms where you can reduce the price of your coin so that you'll be at the top. We don't want to create that unnecessary competition. So when you come first, you'll be first. You are second, you are second. Then the first, only difference may be in case first, then you are selling only 100 worth of ancient. Someone second, he's selling 10,000 worth of ancient, and someone is coming to buy, assuming 5,000. He will prefer to contact the second person than the first one, isn't it? So that would be the only difference. So it may happen a second person is selling ahead of the first person just because of the quantity. All right, so when you come to the exchange, you put in the amount you want to buy, then the system will connect you automatically to a seller. You can choose. Okay? Yes, we want to create that system of fairness. So buyer interacting with the seller. But we don't want a situation where send me your money before I send you and then that kind of scam. No. So the system will automatically give the agent to the buyer and then take the money from the buyer and then pay the seller. That's all. All these are logic. Get a logic, put it on the script. The developers can work on it. So that exchange is going to work. So it's about a seller meeting the buyer, though anonymous. Okay, that's mediation. I guess my mic is exhausted. All right, the next component of the exchange is the quick swap. We have the smart swap and the quick swap. Yes. I think the quick was doubled. It's just one quick swap. It's not quick swap. That one is for emergency. Hello. Yes. You know, it's all about freedom. So we are creating freedom. So you are exchange, you have freedom. Now, the quick swap is emergency. We are creating it because we don't know what will happen on the exchange. Assuming we believe, we are anticipating that there will be more buyers than sellers because of the campaign that will be going viral. We believe to get more sellers and more buyers than sellers. But assuming we don't get more buyers, it means the sellers will have to queue for long. So assuming you have placed your coin on sale and for 3 days no one is buying, it's boring. Meanwhile, you need money. Your child you have to pay, you have to buy food, Putting food on the table can become emergency than your child being sick, isn't it? Yeah, putting food on the table can become emergency than the child being sick. Because it have gotten critical. And it's like 11 abong granny Masa, it's emergency pa. So you see, when it gets worse, you still need food. So what will you do? Use the quick swap. The quick swap is that, oh, I regretted for swapping my Leo. If I wish, hey, stop, come for your Leo. Is that not it? So if you swap 4 Leo for 1 ancient, bring 1 ancient and come for your 4 Leo. So the method you used to come in during the smart swap, the same method you used to go for the quick swap. So no one robs anyone, no one have cheated you. You brought in 4 Leo, take your 4 Leo and go out. and drop the ancient. Okay? That one is for emergency. Though I don't believe we'll be using it. But we are building it for freedom. Because it's unnecessary. We are building it for freedom. So that there will be freedom in the community. And then people are not, disenfranchised of their power because we have taken their money and we are not that. No. So, 3 components of the exchange to make sure we give value to the ancient coin. All right, so that is how the ancient exchange will be. Though this particular software we are building the concept. I'm able to speak because we've put in a lot of stuff on the paper, but we've not yet contracted developers. Developers will start something on it from March. That is the timelines. March, April, we start working on the exchange. But for now, the focus is on the blockchain. Okay, so that is how it's going to be. And then we are just trusting God to give us more power. Remember, you were created sovereign and superior by the creator of the universe. No one in the world is more powerful than you. Don't ever think there is some albino sitting somewhere and they are more intelligent. And when they do something, that should be... No. If you have gone where I have been, you understand we are the owners of the universe. You don't understand that. But if you indeed understand we are the owners of the universe. Should I tell you one big secret? There is a big secret in the book you saw. I know. You believe in the Bible. Let me tell you one secret. After the flood, there were only 6 people left, isn't it? Good. Together with the women. And we say 8 plus Adam and Eve. And these 6 people, excluding Noah and the wife, the 6 descendants or children of Noah, they populated the whole universe, isn't it? All right, among the children of Noah was a child called Shem. And that Shem gave birth to Eber. Arphaxad gave birth to Terah. And Terah gave birth to Abraham. I'm just telling you, immediately after the flood, Abraham gave birth to Isaac. And that is just about 6th generation. Are you following? 6th generation. 5th, and I'm going to talk about the 6th generation. Isaac gave birth to 2 children. Twins, one day. This is one of the biggest secrets to know who you are. Sometimes we used to ask a lot of questions. What was the color of Adam? What was the race of Noah? Where do we come from? Are we monkeys? Are we that? We have been brainwashed to believe we are monkeys. 5th generation, the 6th generation is about to be born. And Rebecca went to the labor to push to give birth. And when she gave birth, first one that came out was fair. And they say, hey, we've never seen this color before. Hey, your name is Fairness or Edom, red. The second one came out normal, Jacob. But he was holding his brother heel. Therefore, they said heel catcher, supplanter. Now, they have given birth to twins. One is fair. And based on that, they call him Bruni. Do you know the meaning of Esau is red? Do you know Esau is red? That guy was fair and hairy. And there was no fair man on earth at that. And because he was fair, they say, hey, where the Bruni? And therefore they call his name Bruni. Meaning the rest were what? Dark. This is just common wisdom. That is why the guy came with his name called Edom. Find out the meaning of Edom. And Edom is red. Hello? So when you go to the family and they call that man red, does not mean he's the only fair guy there. So you see, this is the origin of our race. So if you are logically raised, because there are so many mechanisms that have been put in place for you to free yourself. And once you fail and you want to stay in the public system of colonialism, public system of rule and control, and they call it government, And the root origin of the word government means control. To govern means to control, to restrict. And we are even happy about that. I'm studying government in school. I'm studying restriction, control in school. And we are happy to govern. Find out the etymology of it. Etymology is the study of the root source of words. In linguistics, you call it etymology. When you study etymology, you realize that every word has a source where it originated from. And government means control. We are not saying we are going to overthrow any government just by, no, but we mean we are in a system whereby we have to create so that we break down the concept of monopolies. Okay? So you decide to stay or not to stay. In 21st century, no one can force you to stay in a system. Even your child, you can't force him to go to school, go to church, marry this one. No. He tells daddy, I'm sorry, I respect you, but I have my choice. So the child decides the school he wants to attend, the profession he wants to take, offer in future, the kind of person, spouse he wants to marry, isn't it? So if you have given birth to your own child and have nursed that child to grow, and he now have a choice, who is that government to say you have no choice? Come on, for God's sake. There is no human being. So you are submitting to them because you have chosen to submit. Okay? All right. So this 21st century, we say the majority will not be suffering for the minority to be enjoying. All of us deserve the best. That's why we say everyone deserves the best. All right. So, interestingly, what we are saying, we are not out of tangent. Joy Online News 26th of January, 3 days ago. Today, 26th January. They listed the countries in Africa and their crypto adoption. And they realized that Nigeria has 6.31%. The whole country, they have 6.31% who have adopted crypto. Yes, South Africa has 7.11% out of the total population that have adopted crypto. And Kenya has 8.56%, 52%. And Ghana has 3.01%. All right, so you see, I think they prioritized Ghana because if they had added other countries like Togo, Ghana would have been at the bottom. Yes, Togo and Co are ahead of Ghana in crypto adoption. You'll be shocked to know that. Yes, they are all ahead of us. Ghana is at the bottom. In fact, there are so many lists. Ghana doesn't appear at all. I have a lot of those lists on the website. If you have visited the website, the blog, I've listed a lot of them. And Ghana is, you hardly see Ghana in some of the lists. It means we have a lot to do. It's not disadvantage. It's advantage because there are so many fertile land. So let's work hard. Once you get to an area in which there are more people that have not adopted a particular project or product, it's an opportunity for you to make larger market. So we shouldn't be scared with a percentage. We should rather think it's fortunate because we are about to introduce crypto to them. Okay? By the time we are done with Asian projects, if crypto adoption is able to rise to 10%, it means Asian holds about 7% out of the 10. And that alone is a plus. So let's work hard. Let's do whatever we can to once Joy News and these mainstream media are now publishing this information, it means the era is due. Their platform is so strict to the extent that they don't just publish anything. Whatever they want to publish, they have to go through a lot of scrutiny. So once they are now interested in publishing these things, that means the platform is right. And very soon they'll be inviting specialists, experts like you and I, to their station to educate them on crypto. They can't run away from it. Crypto is a game changer. So far, there's no engineer in the world that can tamper with crypto. The biggest hackers in the world so far are in Russia. And some of them, we even contacted them for a lot of information. They can't tamper with blockchain. Very safe. Be confident that we are interacting with this. Creating crypto project in this era is not difficult, as people think. In fact, it's all about having the technical how. So you have to have the concept. You have to know the game. You have to take time to study the game. Our advice, instead of you spending more on TikTok, on other people's platform, giving them money, spend time researching so that you also make good money out of it. Spend time on read more on concept, ask questions, because that is how you are able to develop concept for crypto project. So once you know the technical know-how, number one. Number two, the team, the people to back the project. If you are bringing the project without a team, forget. The project will die prematurely because you will not get adoption. So getting a team is more difficult in this era, because a lot of people are now skeptical about crypto because they have failed on several occasions. They bought this crypto, it didn't work. In fact, you yourself, you are here because you are a bold man. Clap for yourself. You have failed, though. You have failed and failed and failed, sir, but you still say, I see you. That's why I'm so proud of you. You are not a coward. You don't fall one and then you say, oh, I won't rise again. When you fall 10, you rise 10. That's why you are here. But I'm sure because of you in this project, this is the last rise. You never fall again. How for this one, the last one? Yeah, that is how we always say, this is like as a Majan penalty. If you shoot this one, don't come to Ghana. So we understand. So we are shooting to win, okay? We are not shooting anything to lose. We are shooting to score. All right, so you need to have the money. All these are about money. If you don't have it, you can't do it. Because we are working with expensive software. All our softwares are being, worked or encrypted, coded on the Web3 networks, the Web3. And when you talk of Web3, it's difficult getting the developers, people to work with it. I'm talking about the blockchain. The blockchain is on Web3. And we don't have a lot of software developers, especially this part of the world, Africa. Most people are now awakening. I think it's now that our young guys are now learning blockchain. Because do you believe we come around the whole Africa to Nigeria, we couldn't get a reliable blockchain company to support our project? Yes, we didn't get. When there were other places like, when you go to the other continent. But in Africa, it was very hard. We later on discovered one Ghanaian, and we even realized he's now in Canada. He has never been to Ghana for some years. Very bossy. Have you filled the time? Have you done that? A lot of questions. And we say, no, we are so young. We can't work with these people. We need people that are very submissive, down to earth. But that bossy people, you have to. It's now a problem. Yeah. So we don't have this. National developers for our project. For that matter, very expensive because the standard of living out there is different from Ghana. So whatever they say, to them it's just like small money, but to us it's a big money. All right, so it's very expensive. But we thank God we have the confidence that we will do it. And when the confidence is there will always be a way. Right now we are lifting a very big project called the blockchain. And a lot of us see it to be very heavy because looking at the people who carry the burden of this blockchain then we shall carry it by all means. All right, so this is the things that we have, that the project has a future and we have a long way to go. So this is the end of the presentation. If anyone has a question to ask regarding all that I have said, yes, sir. I would like to, yes, sir. I'd like to pause and pick one or two questions. It could be a question, it could be a contribution. Thank you so much.